On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, the guys lament life during the lockdown before getting into a must-own Hot Toy set and a tangent-filled talk on Star Wars 2020 number 4 and Bounty Hunters number 1. They then break down the latest episode of the Clone Wars while using new information to predict how the rest of the episodes will play out. Thanks to Sam Witwer, they also reflect on his statements about the final 4 episodes of the show and how they provide the best Clone Wars stories to date. Of course, they dissect the Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka and Mando rumors before recapping the Skywalker Saga documentary found on the Tross home release. And finally, it's time for the Top 5 Plus 1 with a special pick from the Haywood Pop. Cue the music. Alright, here we go. Hello, everybody. I'll spare you after last week's ridiculously long Hey Now. And I'll just give you the short, the usual, the primetime show special. Hey now. What's up, my friends? How's it going in lockdown? Is everyone else having as much fun as Nick and I are not? Yeah, I mean, the conversation I just had with my man Nick offline was enough for me to almost jump off a bridge. So I feel bad for the man. So hopefully over these next, who knows how many minutes we'll talk, probably at least 120. I'm hoping to cheer Nick up a little bit, give him something to think about outside of the obvious, the clearly direness of the world we live in today with this fucking virus, the economy, Nick's work situation, this, that, and the other thing. Shit's getting grim for my friends. So, we're going to try to lift his spirits by talking Star Wars. And as you heard, there's still plenty of Star Wars stuff to discuss. I know Disney's fucking around with the movies. There's really not much else going on outside the Clone Wars and the comic books and this High Republic nonsense that you have to read. But Nick and I are still generating the content, putting the shit out there, and obviously sitting down at least once a week from our bunkers, lockdown, shelter-in-place style, delivering one episode of the greatest, the dumbest, the lamest, the most ass-holiest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. All right, buddy. Things aren't great right now, right?
Things are a little tough. So just for context, over the weekend, just to add insult to injury, I cracked my phone screen just being an idiot, fucking around with it like a moron. So I had to pay $300 to get that fixed.
$300 for the screen?
Yep, $300 to get the screen fixed on a Galaxy S10 Plus because the whole phone was basically unusable once the screen was cracked. So that sucked. It was a very bad crack. And then, with this whole shelter-in-place thing going on, my girlfriend and I, Taylor and I, are getting ready to close on our house, so we have no fucking clue what's going to happen with that.
We're supposed to have a walkthrough It's safe tomorrow. To be going and interacting with people right now for inspections where you definitely can't do the 6 feet of social distancing. So... Yeah. I mean, on top of all this nonsense going on, Nick more than likely has the virus at this point.
It's probably, it's almost a foregone conclusion.
Or gave it to someone and they're probably dead.
So if you hear about me being bedridden or completely just unusable as a human for a while, you may know why. But we'll see what's going on.
If you see me posting application requests on Instagram for a temporary co-host, you know why.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we could get some good talent in there. Make sure they hit the record buttons when they
filling
start
in the DH.
podcast.
They'll be DHing for Nick as he's recovering from the HIV.
Yeah.
I mean, the poor guy, shit's not going well right now. So send those positive vibes throughout the force, my friends. Like
Here we
Ray.
go.
What did she say? Can you hear me? Are you with me?
Are you with me?
Are you with me?
Be with me.
Be with me.
Be with me.
Be with me. Do you hear him?
Yeah.
Be with him. Be with him. Be with him.
Right.
Be in him.
Like the virus. But anyway, I mean, we got a good set of topics
there's some
this
shit
week.
to talk about. There's some shit to talk about.
Some cool toys that Matt's probably beating himself up over.
This seems to be the deal these days, where Hot Toys waits until the day after we record to drop the next amazing must-have matches creamed as jeans type of product reveal. And it happened again last week. So the day after, the day we dropped the episode, this news came out. We got this. I got tipped off from our buddies over at X Clue magazine, but. We knew it was coming, but Hot Toys unveiled 2 collectible sets based on characters from The Mandalorian. And guess what? It is...
They're beautiful.
Baby Yoda in 1/6 scale and Din in full Beskar. They come together as a pair, as they should. Father and son. The child is finally available in 1/6 scale format, but you do have to get it in this this collectible set, Nick. You have to get the Beskar, full Beskar Mando or Mandalorian as well. So, someone like me, this was a very easy decision.
$400 worth of easy.
Well, it wasn't even. You know what was funny? I was way off. I didn't update this because it's not like I'm a journalist or anyone that really cares about correct information. I mean, we live in the age of misinformation, so I might as well spread some of my own. But, dude, when I went to finally pre-order these motherfuckers, the deluxe set. So, again, Hot Toys is now offering a standard or deluxe set of 1/6 scale full Beskar Mando and 1/6 scale Baby Yoda. They want to call him the child. They can go fuck themselves until they give us his or her or its name. Okay? So, clearly, if you're a real deal collector, you don't even say, hey, should I get the deluxe or the standard, right? I mean, I'd punch you right in the face if you ask me that question on this set, Nick.
Yeah, I assume it's deluxe or nothing.
Yeah, because deluxe, you're getting not 1, but 2 Baby Yodas. You get his carrier. You get the ice cream maker with Beskar steel slabs in it.
You can't beat that.
You get the little fucking hollow projection thingy-wingy.
Yeah.
You get the, what does he call them? The whispering birds or whatever?
Yes. The whispering birds. Whistling birds.
Yeah, whistling birds. I mean, no one ever accused us of knowing what the fuck we're talking about. So they're whistling, whispering. Who gives a shit? They're things that fly out of his gauntlet and kill motherfuckers, right?
Yeah. That's all you need to know. And all of these deluxe editions here are they're very nice, I have to say.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, this deluxe set, and I had to ask Trevor, 1/6 shooter, because I always go to him when I start to feel a little FOMO on 1/6 scale stuff, because that's like his bread and butter. I'm like, dude, what does 1 do if 1 already has the standard non-Beskar armor Mando pre-ordered 1/6 scale? Does 1 cancel and just get the deluxe set, or does 1 keep both? And he pretty much came back and said, quit being a pussy. Right?
He's like, you get both.
Yeah.
That is what
He's like, you could always trade off one of the Baby Yodas for food and ammo if the world goes to piss, which it probably is at this point in time. Yeah. And he's right. So I definitely pre-ordered this motherfucker. I guess I should look up the price because, dude, I was so off. I mean, it was vintage Matt speculation, but on a price of a figure. I mean, what'd I say? $350, $400? I mean, I was off by at least $100, I bet, if not more.
On the over or under?
Oh, like I was way high.
Okay.
I mean, it was it was so ridiculous. I went to Trevor. I'm like, dude, they're charging, I think, like $230 for regular Mando, and the fucking deluxe set's like another $50.
Yeah, it seems like there would be some sort of like, what, like,
yeah,
why
here we
is
go.
there
Okay,
such a
so
small
Mando
price
and the
disparity?
Child Deluxe, Nick, is $313.
Okay.
Mando Standard $259. The Mando and non-Beskar armor just by himself, I believe, is $243.
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy?
It's only $70 more, and you get the full
you get full Beskar and a fucking 1/6 scale Hot Toys Baby Yoda. Like, it looks like he has a full cloth little potato sack around him. He can pose. He's got the necklace. Like I said, I was way the fuck off. I mean,
yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a very easy one.
I'm like, the deluxe will be at least $400.
But you know what?
Hey.
You got it pre-ordered. We'll see some shots from Matt for this very soon, probably within a week after it comes out.
Probably
you know how quick.
Because we're all going to be dead. I mean, let's be real. There is no Mandalorian Season 2. Everything is over. I mean, these figures now, we're just paying non-refundable deposits for fun because society is bound to crumble.
Yeah, it's a question mark if you can even get them delivered at this point.
Yeah, there's no shot in hell. There's no, because all this shit is made over in Asia for the most part. I mean, I believe Hot Toys is based in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so good luck getting that shit anytime soon.
And we are soon to be the epicenter of the pandemic, so it's not like we're even gonna have distribution channels. So we're all fucked. But I still recommend pre-ordering just in case some magical being comes down from the sky or Luke Skywalker shows up with his laser sword.
There we go.
All right, so that's your Hot Toys update of the week. Now we're going to move into the comic books because I have committed and have remained committed to the pledge. Nick is waning a bit, but we'll give him a pass because he just, explained his ordeal, and it's no good. I mean, he's essentially risking his health, mind, body, and soul to get his house. So, he can't deal with these comics right now. But I'm staying on top of them, and boy, am I glad that I am, dude, because these things just, especially the Star Wars proper, I mean, these things just continue to excite, to add new wrinkles to canon that I think are worth talking about. And that's typically what we focus on. I mean, I do videos on them. They're essentially canon updates. So right now, we're on Star Wars 2020 number 4. It's continuing the tales of Luke, Leia, Lando, Chewie, and, a little bit of Vader talk here and there post the events of ESB. And there was a few very interesting additions to canon that I wanted to discuss. And I guess we'll just start with the first one, Nick, and one that people probably didn't even think about. And I'm a diehard, and I never thought about this, but, I mean, I guess you could say there was a plot hole, technically, in Return of the Jedi. But
yeah.
This comic book explains in detail how Luke gets his Red 5 X-Wing back.
Yeah, no, you never really thought about that at all. You're just like, he got there somehow, and you assume, yes, he got there on Red 5, but then he falls down the shaft, he ends up on the Falcon, and you're like, well, he doesn't need that.
Right, but he has it again by Return of the Jedi, clearly. I mean, he takes it off. I mean, let's be real. I'm grabbing like gnats' asses here to make some content for you motherfuckers, okay? Like, I get it. The fact that Luke gets his X-Wing back from Bespin and we see how might not be that interesting, but what else do you got to do right now?
Yeah.
So watch the fucking YouTube videos. Get subscribed to YouTube. I'm eventually going to quit doing this shit because, one of these years I'm going to realize that it's a waste of time.
It'll be when YouTube shuts down as a property.
Yeah, exactly. When
Google
COVID takes out all of Google. So
yeah.
Basically, how he gets it back, well, we learned the last time that Luke, Lando, Leia, and Chewie all head back to Bespin to do various things. Luke's looking for his lightsaber. Lando wanted to save Lobot, so on and so forth. Chewie's just Chewie. He's the heavy. He's the muscle. Leia wanted to learn about the carbon freezing process and got her ass frozen. So anyways, in this one, we see how Luke gets his X-Wing, and essentially Lando knows where they would have stashed any random ships, and as they make their escape, he grabs it, and there it is. So that's that.
Boom.
We also learned in this one who really finds Luke's saber, or his father's saber.
Yeah, apparently it's not somebody of immense force power as everybody expected.
Right, so there's some fuckery going on with this, Nick, because she's still referenced heavily, and Luke actually is on his way to go find her at the end. So he has almost a force connection vision about her.
Okay.
But did she really? Now we do know it's a girl, by the way, too. I don't know if we clarified that last time or not. But this woman that everyone when they first teased it, oh, we're gonna see how Luke gets his lightsaber, or how Maz ended up with it, and this figure in a hood was holding it, and Nick and I were like, that looks like boobs, and I was like, yeah, maybe, and we're like, yeah, Neanderthal boobies. It could be a girl. Well, it is indeed a girl, but that shot probably was some force shit, like force trip and stuff, because we do find out after all that his blade did fall down into the trash bin like Lando said it would, and where Luke went to find it, but he had to go, kind of help some other shit going on with Leia that he also saw through the force. But they show towards the end of the comic, it gets found by an Ugnaught. So.
It figures, yeah. I mean, that's who keeps the trash,
right?
In Bespin are the Ugnaughts, so it makes total sense.
But there's an interesting revelation. So I think, we may see how Maz gets it kind of on the side, but at this point in time, Luke clearly states, like, you know what? Fuck that lightsaber. It belonged to this guy I just found out is a scumbag, and I don't need it. I just need the force right now. I'll figure some shit out.
Okay. See, that's a good move on his part. So he moves on quickly from it, and that's why we get the green boy.
Luke was pretty interesting in this issue, man. I mean, he was doing some force shit where it's like, okay, yeah, he's a Skywalker. I mean, you got to remember, this is still the asshole that didn't listen to the master of all masters, Yoda, and left to go save his friend. So he was not very trained. Probably no more trained than Rey was after her stint with Angry Luke.
Yeah.
But in this comic, man, I mean, he has that intense vision where he sees this lady on this planet that he thinks has the Force. He sees that Leia has gotten her ass captured in carbonite. And then to save her, he literally simultaneously unfreezes every prisoner the Empire has in carbonite.
Holy shit.
Yeah, while also taking every trooper's guns with the Force.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, dude is like night level, borderline master level shit right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if because he's like pissed about what he just learned about his dad and the lying from Ben and Yoda or what. But his Force, some would say, might have been a little too OP for this point in his career. But it was cool. And really the only other thing I would have mentioned to you is you get a clear picture that still at this point in time, Lando fucking hates the rebellion. He has no intention of helping them outside of getting what he needs to get out of them. And that's that. So I'm assuming we're eventually going to see what turns him around and eventually makes him want to volunteer and become a general. So
yeah, I assume that has to come in this run, because if this is going to go all the way from the time of ESB right up into the beginning of ROTJ, then you have to kind of cross that bridge.
Yeah, you would think so. And I think they're angling that way, but that's why I like this. I like this angle they're presenting. And to me, it is true to the character at that stage. I mean, his only connection to these fuckers was Han. It's not like him and Han were even the bestest of friends. They might have been more frenemies than anything else.
Yeah, I would say, close acquaintances with grievances against each other.
Oh, yeah, big time. So it feels character correct to me, at least at this stage in Lando, the character's progression, that he's kind of like, fuck these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like, what did they ever do to me? They never fucking helped me out anything.
Yeah, he's like anyone else. He's like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'll look out for Lando. See ya.
Yeah. In terms of the woman, do you think that this is them trying to create another Mara Jade type character? Do you think, are there any hints? Could this be like a Force
I don't know,
projection
because Luke makes it very clear that based on the vision, he saw that it was a trinary star system, so he was able to have R2 kind of, cross-section the star maps and find the planet. So he's headed there. So one would have to assume that she is a real being and not something that the Force is projecting to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for a second when we first had that reveal and we were talking about who could this figure be, I was thinking that, like, fuck, maybe it's Rey, world between worlds, like, jumping, and, she knows the significance of this blade and how much it is of value to her.
Yeah, because then at one point in time, before we decided the thing had boobs, I was like, it could be even Luke himself coming back through the portal, essentially.
Yeah, it could. It could have been. Like, the world between world opens up, like, endless possibilities to who that character could be, but I think it's really cool that they do kind of respect the timeline and not all of a sudden say, like, well, now that Tross is out, we can just fucking time travel everything and make it crazy. Like, I think it's a lot better that this is like an actual person that Luke can have a connection with, because outside of Mara Jade in the old canon, like, he never really had, like, he had Han, or Han and Leia, but he never really had a ton of friends. Like, Luke Skywalker wasn't really
he was kind of he became the ultimate hermit, essentially, but he took his master role seriously. He was more or less like Yoda. A little more lenient on the Jedi ways of you can't care about anybody. He clearly cared about his sister Han and those types. But I think he dedicated himself to rebuilding up the academy.
Yeah, like actually building the Jedi Order,
right?
And not,
those
like,
were going to be his peers and his friends and his family, if you will. So,
yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's good, man. Who knows? The Rey angle you mentioned would be very interesting, but it wouldn't work technically, right? Because then Luke would have already met her and have known it, or maybe he couldn't say he knew her because then it would blow up the time continuum. You never know.
I know, it would be weird.
Time travel rules are different in every franchise, apparently. So
yeah, like you would be getting into like alternate timelines and stuff like that.
I'm just aching for anything Rey. That's one of the reasons the new trilogy, when it all ended again, I don't hate it. I like it better than the prequels, but I don't know. I love Rey from the beginning, and by the end, it just never felt like she was fully developed. And even with Kylo, yes, he got way more development than Rey, but it still felt like, we needed more self-reflection time, get inside the mind of these motherfuckers. But we did it, and Rey is Rey. Her journey is what it is, and it just kind of bums me out. I fucking gave my kid's middle name is Rey, so it's not like I'm just some jerk off. I really like the character. Plus, she's a fucking beautiful woman.
There you go.
I can't help it. I'm creepy. I'm old. She's young, but she's just one of those humans, man or woman, where you look at him, you're just like, Jesus.
She is. She's a very interesting.
No wonder people pay you millions to be on TV and stuff.
And the thing is like, with Kylo, that there's extra material to cover with him, right? Because he had such a
he had more to his character by default by being a solo. Rey truly was a nobody for the first two movies, and they're like, you're a Palpatine. And it's like,
and it's like, in the way that it's done is like, you can't have extra content unless it comes after Tross that really kind of explores that, like you could have with the Rise of Kylo comic series,
right? Which
I thought, like, that is a fantastic. If you like Kylo,
no, you're 100%, because Rey's story is set now. She literally was just a vagabond hanging out on Jakku and had no clue of any of her connections to anything. She felt that chill when Ben decided to make the jump to the dark, but as Nick said, there's no real content to frame around. All you could literally do is write a comic book about how Rey became a good scavenger.
Yeah, and I think the best way, if they want to continue that character, and I think they should, is you have to make post-Tross content in either novels or comic books. But I don't know if they're willing to do that.
Come on, don't put novels out there. I'm not going to fucking read that shit. So let's put the vibes out for comics. I would love that. I would love some Rey comics. Because I'm still someone that, whatever, the Palpatine thing, it is what it is. It's set in stone now. But I would have been fine with the whole Rey Solana thing. I'm not even saying Trevorrow's arc. Just Rey stayed a Force pimp, kind of like Anakin was. You don't know why, it just was.
Yeah. I think it could be done. I mean, they had a ton of old content that came after episode 6 and in the old EU. I just don't know what Disney's plans are. Like, I don't know if Disney is now thinking of the Skywalker saga as like episode 9 is the end of the end, and there's nothing that can come after it in terms of stories.
At least the way I interpreted their messaging all of last year, really the whole buildup was bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean...
can you not even mention the fucking Skywalker? I mean, she's not really one, but she gave herself the name. Can we not even talk about her anymore? I mean, clearly they own Daisy's appearance for life. I mean, so they could definitely draw her and do comics like we're saying. But as Nick said, have they kind of painted themselves into a corner with all this, chest puffing out like, this is it? Skywalker's swan song, you know what I mean? I mean, that's kind of the message I got is like, hey, 9 is done. See ya. No more stories. Fuck off. And
in my opinion, like episode 9, the way that it ends is the beginning of Rey's story. Like,
technically, just because of the way the fucking narrative went, you could argue it's the beginning of all the new character stories. Finally,
yeah,
like
exactly.
Finn exploring his Force connection, Poe exploring him humping Zori, Rey training other Jedi. Yes, you're 100% right.
Yeah, it's odd to me, and like, look, I don't know what Disney has planned. I don't know if they meant like it's the end of the Skywalker cinematic universe or it's the end of the end. But like, these characters, we had partial development through this film, and you got to see them grow in ways, but you never really. The only character whose arc you can say that you even remotely fully got through this movie through these movies was Kylo's, and it was out of necessity.
And even that's kind of shortchanged because he's only been for a second. He says 2 or 3 words. I mean, his actions spoke volumes, but still, I mean, come on. Give us some Ben fucking Solo. Yeah,
I mean, that's why the 3.5 hour cut that we'll never get was so important to this film and to this series, because it probably would have given you a little bit of something else for that character at the very least. But you know what? We just got to see what Disney does. I mean, Disney likes to make money, and
of
Star
course,
Wars...
dude. Money fucking talks, dude. If the world truly isn't The Walking Dead here in 6 months and things start to get back to hopefully a new normal, they're sitting there going, fuck, man, we still can't figure out the movie slate. Should we just throw tons of money at Daisy, John, and Oscar and just see if we can get them to commit to a fucking 10, 11, 12?
I mean, you just...
We won't say Skywalker, right? We won't say it, so technically it's good,
I would say if you could get those 3 people back, you can make an argument that you still are functioning outside of, like, the Skywalker saga is over because every ancestral Skywalker is dead. Like, there's no Skywalker blood left in the world, in the universe. Like, it's all gone. So you can make an argument that, like, okay, we're continuing the story with these characters.
That's a very good point. So that's like another one of those dumb things you never think about, but actually is a key point.
Yeah.
I mean, that you are right. That gene line is gone.
And I mean, the thing, and if you watched it, we'll get to this a little bit later in the podcast, but if you watch the documentary around Tross, they tell you, like JJ and Chris and even some of the legacy actors like Anthony Daniels and Mark Hamill, they're like, the story that's being laid out here that is the Skywalker saga is about Skywalkers and Palpatines, and there's none of those left anywhere.
Well, Rey
is a Palpatine. So you still have some Palpatine blood out there, but she has now.
Dude, I'm all for it because like I said, I'm a Rey homer. I fucking love Rey. I would be down to watch her, Finn, the rest keep going, but I think they're still too closely tied to the Skywalker mantra.
No, yeah, you're definitely right, and maybe we need to wait, 30 years before we get the return of these characters.
When they're all old and shit, and fucking Daisy's cracked out and dies on a plane because she's got drug problems, and then they can't finish the movie and it's screwed up yet again.
So we'll see, but I mean, the
Boyega will be walking with a cane.
Oh, dude. He'll be the new Billy D, man. That's the best part. Is John has that personality too. You know he would be like.
Oh yeah.
John would have that personality, and he'd in that old body. But I don't know. We got the comics. The comics will get us through. The novels will get us through. And if you people out there,
the novels
are
will
really
get those of you that can read through. I just look at
content.
pictures and decide what's happening based on the symbols I see.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for the future of Star Wars. I hope it comes sooner rather than later. But you know what? We just got to take what we can get for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy for Star Wars, but I'm telling you, I'm still like, fuck, man. I love my Skywalkers. I want more Skywalker stuff. Anyways, that's a little bit of a tangent, but that's kind of what we do. That means we're talking some fun stuff. We're getting deep. We're speculating. We're dreaming. We're wishing. But you don't have to wish for more comic book talk because we're going to give it to you. That's right. I did not one, but two comic book videos last week after the latest episode of the show. And that's because I fucked up and forgot that the new Star Wars Bounty Hunters run started last week. So, I kind of made up for it. Got the video out here. So this is Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 1. And I guess first and foremost, in terms of canon, there was one interesting thing, and it's the fact that Boba Fett had such a hard-on for this character. Hold on, let me look at I forget the character's name. Nakano Lash, who apparently was a mentor of this Valance guy who is supposed to be the main character of Star Wars Bounty Hunters.
Yeah.
But seeming like it's going to be a cross between Valance, Boba, Bosk, the big names or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, canon-wise, because I do want to give a brief opinion on this series in general, but canon-wise, the very interesting thing here, like I said, is this too is set around the events of ESB slightly after, as is Vader. It's kind of a theme in 2020. But we learn that as Boba was transporting his prized bounty of Han Solo, already in Carbonite, taking him to Jabba, getting paid, getting all the glory, he took a detour to try and take out this Nakano Lash. So, like I said, years before, they were all working a job. Nakano kind of fucked everyone over, and then everyone that was working with her essentially wants revenge at this point. In particular, Boba Fett, because that's just the type of guy he is. So flash forward, he's got Solo. He's a hero. He's going to drop him off. He gets pinged. A dude's like, yo, I got a puck for you. You're probably not going to want to turn this one down. Boba's like, fuck you. I got Han. I'm a pimp. And the guy says the name, and he's like, keep your credits. I'll make time, essentially.
Yeah, I'll do this one for free.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Just like I said, a little stupid thing, but an interesting thing. Just goes to show you the type of bounty hunter Boba was, and when he had a grudge against you, it didn't matter what type of glory was waiting him, he was going to go fuck you up.
Yeah, dude. See, this is another one of those relationships that I wish we could have seen play out in more detail in the Solo proper trilogy. Is the relationship between Han and Boba.
Oh, yeah.
We know that Han is like you said, the prized possession. Like, this was the fucking one bounty that Boba had tried and failed at before, and he was trying to get again, and he finally gets it. And to know that this Nakano Lash was big enough for him to be like, I'll put dropping Solo off on hold just to go get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's
that's
awesome.
why. I mean, there was a Lady Proxima Easter egg, because the flashback, the thing that kind of set up why Boba would do what he did, took place on Corellia. So that was interesting. But just in general, this comic book, at least issue 1 here, and I don't know if it's because I've missed other bounty hunter books, but it didn't nearly grab my imagination and my inner Star Wars fangirl like Vader, Star Wars, and Rise of Kylo.
Yeah.
So I'm pledging to give it a full volume run, which is, typically the first 5 issues, 6 issues tells a tale, and then they'll move on to another one. And yeah, the art was fantastic. Like, Boba had a few full pagers, and they're just fucking money. I mean, it's hard to not make a Mandalorian look awesome, but as iconic as he is, there's some great shots, some great action stuff in there. But I don't give a fuck about Valance that much, and he's seemingly to be the main character. I've never really given a shit about the bounty hunters in general because, quite frankly, if you were someone like me, before the franchise was sold, and you had the movies and you had the expanded universe and shit, I was a film person only. That was canon to me. I wasn't fucking around with all the books and the comics and all that shit. And look, it paid off because all the shit you guys liked in the EU means nothing now. Ha ha ha.
True. And that's still like a little knife in the gut.
Yeah, you know what I
Just a
mean?
little
But
twist.
the point here, I'm not just trying to be a douchebag. The point is that to me, the canon Boba Fett, to this day, sort of, at least on screen, is a bozo. He is a straight bozo that got lucky getting Han. I mean, fucking Vader caught Han. Fuck off, right? I mean, in the end, sure, Boba tipped them off that's where they went. But without the full force of the Empire, there's no way Boba's getting Han when he's linked in with Chewie, Lando, Leia, the droids, all this shit. So, whatever. Then, the only time we see him in action, he gets... easily thwarted by a noob Jedi, not even a real Jedi, right?
And by a blind Han Solo.
And then he essentially gets killed on accident by a blind guy.
Yeah.
He dies like such a chump. So yes. Did I think Boba Fett looked fucking badass? Hell yeah, I did. I still love his design. That's why I think, the Mandalorian's so fucking popular, is because of the way Boba Fett looked. But if we're talking about Boba Fett, the way he was portrayed on screen, back then, he was a bum. He was a bozo. Who gives a shit? I didn't see him do anything impressive in Empire or Jedi.
Yeah, he was definitely... I don't want to call him a forgettable character, but it's like he almost like Kaz'd his way into getting Han, because that's exactly what Kaz would do in fucking Resistance.
They're very good. Yeah, he's not forgettable at all. I mean, he's one of the most iconic Star Wars characters out there, but that's just because of the way he fucking looked. He didn't do anything cool.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that the public attached themselves to Boba the way that they did. But,
motherfucking helmet and jetpack will take a man a long way in a galaxy far, far away, brother.
Yeah, that's very true. So this is another run that I might catch up on once I get my brain back functioning properly. Hopefully, we should be in our house in 6 days, so that will remove one item of stress from my fucking bucket, and then I can take some time to read some comic books and not want to smash my head into a door. But yeah, I mean, I want to catch up on this. I definitely want to catch up on Star Wars proper. And like you told me last week, Matt, you only got 2 episodes or 2 books into the Vader 2020 run. So there's content out there for me to assuage my...
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be realistic. Unless people running the show get really fucking stupid, we're probably going to be locked up for most of April.
Yeah,
if you're smart, like if you believe in science and doctors and medicine, and you've been seeing how this thing literally went from a couple hundred last week to fucking 50,000 today when we're recording just in the United States, it spreads, okay?
Yeah.
And the only way we're going to reduce that and hopefully have enough shit to take care of motherfuckers that get really sick is to not spread it. It sucks. I get it, man. It fucking blows. It is blowing up the economy, but hey, at least you got us to listen to and Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
There's no way to spin what we're going through. We're trying, people. We're trying.
Yeah. Just entertain yourselves as we do. Go out and watch some of the Clone Wars stuff if you haven't yet. Go watch some of the new content that's on Disney Plus. go watch the Rise of Skywalker on digital and all of that good stuff, and take up some of that time. Read a book, which I have to do, as in reading and finishing the second book of the Thrawn trilogy, and then actually starting the third one. There's a lot of good Star Wars content out there, people, and if you put your mind to it, you can learn some pretty cool shit about this universe. So,
or if you're stuck at home with a little kid that can watch the same shit over and over, you can watch The Rise of Skywalker like 55 times, the documentary at least 4 or 5 times.
There you go. See, I'm glad that Charlie likes.
I couldn't believe it, dude, because last night, that was our homework. I was like, I'm going to watch the documentary, and I tried to explain it to her, and she's like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're fucking stupid. And then we finally get downstairs, and she's watching, and I could see there was some interest, but she's still at the age where she thinks movies are real.
Yeah.
So she's like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why?
It's like that's
why is Rey wearing that? Why are they saying action? Why are they saying go? And
yeah.
But then today, dude, when I was ready to watch her to give Heather some time working, I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, I want to watch the video about making Star Wars. I said, what? What? And the other thing, and this is a great cartoon, Spies in Disguise. We watch that at least once a day now on lockdown. That's like her comfort movie, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, I remember seeing previews for that.
It's good, man. It's little Tom and Will Smith. So.
Yeah, and that's on Disney Plus, or is that somewhere?
I don't think it's on Plus yet. We actually saw it in theaters, and I knew it was good enough. And once I knew this lockdown was coming, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll spend the $12 or whatever."
Yeah.
Get it early. Onward will be on Disney Plus April 3rd, but you can buy it now. That's another one that's well worth watching. So.
Yeah, Onward is one that I'm looking.
Yeah, well worth watching. I mean, and I didn't even grow up in a family where like a parent had died and this, that, and the other thing. But if you had like siblings or big brothers, it'll fucking level you. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But hey, we're not done yet. We still got stuff to talk about. There's a show that is airing on Fridays. All of you may have heard of, and it's called The Clone Wars, a little program that dates back a few years, done by this guy, this dude that Lucas thought had some talent, Dave Filoni. So we got it, Nick. We got episode 5 aired last week, so we're going to break down Gone with a Trace, and it was the first episode where Ahsoka came back. So
in the
pretty
Ahsoka arc.
Right. Pretty fantastic episode, and it seems that we're going to be sticking with Ahsoka throughout the remainder of the season, which means the next 7 episodes are probably going to have Ahsoka in them and a combination eventually of the Jedi Bros. But we'll get there because we actually got some descriptions of episodes coming out in April that kind of paint a picture of where things are going. And believe it or not, your boys might be spot on with some of the speculations they laid down. And
finally
where are we
got
at?
one right.
Was that 102 or 103?
That was
103?
102.
102.
This is 102.
So 102, I'm pretty sure we made some calls that are going to completely pay off now that we see his descriptions. But before we get there, let's do our little dance, our little jig with Gone with a Trace, kind of starting with the Easter eggs. So, yes, Ahsoka is back. And right from the onset, we get a reference that I loved, and it just goes to show you the respect that Ahsoka has earned in the Star Wars fandom. And it's a fact, Nick, that they gave her to open Luke's fucking theme. And Luke's theme's like magic to Star Wars fans.
Yeah, like that's like the holy,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, outside of like the opening crawl music, there's probably no more recognizable track than the Luke Skywalker theme. The looking out at the fucing the twin suns, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and for but if you give that to somebody like Ahsoka, it just shows the importance of that character.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you are one of the people who only watch for the movies and stuff like that, like Ahsoka Tano is arguably one of the best characters ever created in Star Wars, not just animated.
100
altogether.
100.
So, do yourself a favor and make sure to catch up on her arc and her, go through and watch the Clone Wars series, because this character has been raised to a point of reverence amongst Star Wars fans to get this type of treatment from Dave Filoni.
She earned it. She deserves it. I fucking love Ahsoka. I really do. She is fantastic. I've loved her in the Clone Wars. I dug what we saw of her in this episode, and I think I'm really going to dig what we see of her moving forward. And, of course, she was probably at her best, at least for me, in Rebels. I loved when she was kind of the more matriarch type of, elder stateswoman.
Yeah. Taking on the fulcrum role.
Hell yeah. She's badass. So I love that she's back, and she gave us a great little reference to start. And she kept giving, Nick, because the next one, her busted-ass speeder bike, had the exact same sounds as the Endor bike. Plus, I believe I watched the downloaded, which are actually pretty good. I don't know, Nick, if you watch those. They release them on Monday. They're about 5 minutes long. You actually get Filoni, some insights from the people that create these, but I guess some of the sounds they also use from those crate speeders, because those were really busted down. They wanted a very janky sounding speeder bike for her.
Yeah. I mean, after you see what fucking happens to it.
Right. Yeah. So up next, and I guess this was a known egg. Lots of fans were like, yeah, man, you were right. You call it. It's not like I picked them out, but there was an obvious nod to the Kenner figure series. And I guess there was a send-away pack or an early release pack of Cantina patrons. So we got the Walrus Man figure, which is essentially Ponda Baba. I'm just I'll go through all these. We got the Hammerhead. We got the Death Star droid. We got the Greedo. And there was the tall Snaggletooth. And I didn't mention all of them right here in this list. I caught some of them in the video. I'll be honest, people. Sometimes, last week I was up at 6 doing this shit. I'm still a little foggy. And I'm not, missing things. And then after I'm done editing the video, I see something, I'm like, fuck. And then I'll put up text in the video, and I forget to do in the post. But whatever. It was a nice nod to all the Kenner Cantina figures. I thought that was cool. The other one, Nick, another, clear egg reference. She crashes on level 1313.
Yeah. Star Wars 1313.
Finally, we're finally getting some content taking place on level 1313. We've been hearing about it for over a decade.
Yeah, for well over a decade at this point. So, and I even me, I catch a lot of references, but not nearly as many as Matt does. This perked my ears up. I was like, wow, I can't believe they actually paid off.
I loved it. And that's Filoni right there. He's doing little winks, little nods. Like, I got you, people. I got you fucking crazy motherfuckers. I got you because I'm one of you.
Yeah.
The other one here, I just like this. I don't even know if it really deserves to be on an Easter egg / reference list. But I loved how Ahsoka referenced how she learned to fight the way she did from her big brother. And clearly that's a direct, lovingly nod to Anakin Skywalker.
Yep.
I swear to God, Rafa had a fucking Hoth Rebel Trooper hat. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact style in the galaxy is, but she had one of those for some reason.
Yeah, maybe that was just some leftover, gear from the cold weather planet, sieges.
Yeah, it could be
during the wars.
She definitely seems shady as fuck. So you never know with this Rafa character. She also drops Moof Milker. We saw some there's Loth Cats all over fucking 1313
everywhere. Yep.
Restraining bolts,
that's a good one.
Clear nod to that. Binary load lifter mention. You remember C-3PO's like, one of my first jobs was programming binary load lifter.
Moisture evaporators. Yeah. Those are very similar to binary load lifters. Yeah.
I swear I'm running with it. Towards the end, there's a billboard. They're sitting down, kind of eating some chow, and you can see it. I'm going with it. I'm just going to say it right now. That was Figure and Dan of the modal nodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't catch that one, but I think I'm going to go back and watch it again to see if I can pick up
he's playing the clarinet thing, and I was like, that's got to be figuring. And, he hadn't formed the modal nodes yet, but...
Yeah, he's still on his solo career.
I'm going with it. So in terms of the episode overall, I mean, I was a big fan. I thought it was a great reintroduction of Ahsoka. We haven't seen her in Clone Wars proper since the end of Season 5, where she essentially self-exiled herself from the Jedi after they fucked her over. Nick and I, I'm just going through my top moments list that I wrote down while I watched it. I mean, the Skywalker theme, we've already kind of touched on that, but as we said, it just goes to show you the level of honor that this character gets in the Star Wars franchise. So I really love that.
Yeah. I think the fight between her and the thugs, like when Trace is kind of, sitting there fighting, she's like, I'll handle this. And then she starts to get her ass kicked, and then Ahsoka jumps in and just beats the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Leading up to that, my brother taught me how to fight line. I love that.
Yeah, 100%. I really loved getting the perspective of these underworld citizens and their perspective on the Jedi. Because, I mean, Trace makes it clear to Ahsoka, like, yeah, don't reveal yourself, because down here we think Jedi are the root of all the problems everyone's experiencing around the galaxy right now, and they no longer do what we were told they were supposed to do, and that's take care of people like us.
Yeah, I mean, this is even before, like, Order 66 goes down.
Oh,
doesn't Trace say,
right.
Like, she says, oh, the Jedi started the war. And
so, I mean,
like, what are you
that just
about?
goes to show you how perfect Palpatine's long game plan, the gaslighting, everything was. I mean, the guy managed to essentially take the Guardians of the Galaxy, not those bozos, but the Star Wars galaxy, and turn them into the root of all evil.
Yeah, with just political manipulation.
It's crazy, man. It's like, fucking America.
Good call. Yeah.
Gaslighting is dangerous, people. Misinformation is not good. That's all I'm going to say. This is not a political
100%.
show. Check the facts. Check everything. Do the research on your own. You can
True.
do it. You're not stupid. You've got the internet. You've got tools. Facebook is for fucking idiots.
Yeah. Matt made that.
I had to.
PSA
I couldn't take it
post
anymore. Like, I'm telling you right now, if we didn't need Facebook for the fucking podcasts and Instagram and all this shit, I would delete that motherfucking cancer from my life. That thing is not good for anybody. It should be nothing more than a Reddit. It should be dumb shit, memes, and dumb Star Wars videos from yours truly. That's it.
Yeah.
Enough with your fucking politics, your fucking sit at home, I'm a doctor science opinions, the fucking political memes and all the stupid shit that just causes chaos in everyone's fucking feed. Stop it. No one gives a fuck what you think.
There we go.
All right?
But
thank you.
One of my other top moments was right towards the end. So, once the V2 load lifter goes crazy because Trace didn't put the restraining bolt on it, you get this kind of mad dash through the underworld and the city, and towards the end, Trace has climbed up and turned off the load lifter, but now she's kind of like falling down, and Ahsoka's trying to save her on this car type thing. And then when Ahsoka uses the Force to pull it in, and that little kid sees her,
Yep.
That moment was just like, oh man, like that was.
I don't know if I mentioned that in my recap and review video or not, but I'm like, I wonder if that little kid may come back and bite her, not on purpose, but maybe he's talking to somebody and they hear it, and then Rafa figures out Ahsoka's been lying about a Jedi, and she tries to cause a wedge in between her and Trace, because it seems like, we can just move on to the clip of coming up this next episode this week, which is called Deal, No Deal, not Deal or No Deal. They probably get sued by Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
But just based on this clip, Nick, Rafa is shady as fuck, but I also think she's doing it out of necessity, just where they grew up and taking care of her little sister. But she clearly is not trusting Ahsoka. And like I was saying with your moment there with that little kid, maybe Rafa gets hints of Ahsoka's true past and uses that to try to fuck up what's going on with her and Trace, who seems slightly more normal and not as willing to do evil shit.
Yeah, I think it's just because, there seems to be a pretty, like, I don't want to say a pretty decent age disparity between Rafa and Trace, but Rafa is clearly the older sister, and she has grown up longer in this underworld, and I feel like what's happened with Trace is Rafa has I don't want to say sheltered her, but like shielded her from a lot of the really, really dark shit of the underworld, and that's why Rafa is the way she is. Like, she is so embedded into this underworld society, but it's trying to be like, her thoughts are like, I'm doing this.
Oh no,
that's
what I mean. It's just she's very mistrusting of Ahsoka at this point, and the clip just kind of nails that. So I think my guess is eventually all three will become friends, or the old one's gonna die.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
Something like that, because, I mean, even this clip for next week, it looks like Rafa's going to get him mixed up in transporting shit for the fucking Pikes.
Yeah,
which are,
syndicate.
In the crime syndicate. We saw them in Solo. They wear those cool-ass masks and shit like that. And I think aren't they essentially huffing spice the whole time in those masks?
Yeah.
I believe so. So
I thought that was something.
But like Nick said, I mean, Rafa she's just... I mean, these people probably lost their parents early, and it's your prototypical, the older sibling has to kind of sacrifice their humanity to try to give the younger sibling some semblance of a normal life.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, this is the arc. This is, I assume, like Matt was saying before, now that we're past the Bad Batch arc, we're probably going to stick with, we're not going to have like another 4 episodes cut.
Well, we got some clear clues today, my friend, so we can fucking detective this shit at this point. I don't want to get to the story yet, but Sam Witwer said the last 4 episodes should be treated as a movie. So right there, to me, that is a 4-episode arc.
Yeah.
So that's episodes 9, 10, 11, 12.
And
so I'm thinking these 3, like Ahsoka and the girls, are going to be 5, 6, 7.
And then you jump into...
And then 8's kind of, I think, would be like the transition episode of Ahsoka runs back in with the Jedi. But you know what, dude? Our next topic, we actually have some descriptions that could further help with this mystery. Okay?
Yeah, and, we kind of hinted at this before, and we did kind of guess, like... Ahsoka is going to go into this underworld situation, and then she will, by one way or another, end up on Mandalore because she's going to know of Maul's dealings. Now with the Pike Syndicate coming in through Rafa, we know that she's getting caught up in the, this crime syndicate underground. And that is probably going to be her lead into.
We got it right here, Nick. We have the answers. So we know, all right, so episode 6 is coming up, right?
Yep.
And we know what's going to happen. They're going to do a mission for the Pikes, and based on this description for episode 7, they're going to get taken prisoner, okay?
Yep.
Ahsoka and the Martez sisters attempt to escape. Okay, Ahsoka bargains for the sisters, so that means this is good. Now I'm talking about episode 8 together again. So Ahsoka bargains for the sisters' freedom and makes a startling discovery.
Uh-oh. What could that be?
That's going to be something that gets her in touch with the Jedi, Nick, because you see the next episode, episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten, hint, motherfucking hint. Anakin and Obi-Wan must decide whether to help Ahsoka pursue Maul or rescue Palpatine. So essentially, together again, Ahsoka's going to run into Maul working with the Pikes because Crime Syndicate, maybe he fucking took him over at this point and he's Crimson Dawn, this, that, and the other thing. But here we go. And then this would now be episode 10 I'm reading. Ahsoka and Republic forces confront Maul on Mandalore.
Yeah. So it does. It really follows along with what we kind of...
Right. So let me read the recap just in case people thought we were lying. This is post-dated March 18th. To recap, we, as in Matt and Nick, the 2 lead assholes of the Star Wars Time show, believe the following. Place your hand on your dick. The CIS invasion of Coruscant or Maul's underworld dealing, bing, bang, boom, or both will reunite Ahsoka and the Jedi. Bang, we fucking win right there.
Nailed it.
Done. Next one. Due to her past and connections in the Republic Army and the Jedi, she will lead forces on Mandalore to get rid of Maul. Bingo! 2 for 2. Swoosh. Right?
There we go.
Okay,
yeah,
that's literally the synopsis for Episode 10. Ahsoka and Republic forces confront Maul on Mandalore. Okay. Anakin and Kenobi will have to deal with the kidnapping of Palpatine. Therefore, they will not be involved in the Mandalore plot.
Oof, that's another one. That's 3.
Hey, Nick, listen to this. Anakin and Obi-Wan must decide whether to help Ahsoka pursue Maul or rescue Palpatine.
Look at that.
I mean, thank you. Where's all the cheering? This is where I need my fucking soundboard right now, because I'd be like, ah, ah. Yeah, I'd have like that canned kids cheering sound going, or like stadium sounds going nuts right now. I mean, come on. And then this one has not been paid off yet because we do not have the synopsises for the final 2 episodes, because I think there's going to be 12. That's at least what I'm guessing. We will probably see Order 66 through Ahsoka's eyes, or get a sequel-like narrative for Revenge of the Sith to close out the Clone Wars for good.
Yeah. I think that we're going to get that.
I think we can just take that shit to the fucking bank right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
thank you. We finally did something right. We finally did something right.
And it didn't take a leak or a source for us to get that right. That is just through the Force.
Listen to the episode. We record the episode on the 17th. On the 18th, the descriptions came out, and we were dead nuts on. So
yeah, that's just us. That's the level of connection that we have with the Star Wars universe.
Come on, I'm still hearing the cheers.
Undeniable.
Star Wars time. 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 Ah! Thank you.
People have to recognize our greatness now.
I don't know what it even means. It means nothing.
It doesn't.
You know what it
means?
means?
After 5 years,
we may know a thing or two about fucking Star Wars, right?
Yeah. After 5 years of doing this, we finally got something right.
We finally speculated something right based on obvious clues all around the universe. We did it, and we didn't even need Reddit.
Yeah.
It's not like we could even share it on Reddit, because anytime we share something on Reddit, they just fucking shit all over it. Because we're like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, even when,
But look, we know what we're talking about. That's what this exercise is all about. To prove to you once and for all, we know Star Wars a little bit.
We are the greatest.
We're the greatest. A little bit.
But yes, so I'm looking forward to this arc. I mean, Ahsoka is a character that's been like desperately needing a proper closeout since the end of Clone Wars, and Dave Filoni did what he could with her in Rebels, which was awesome that he was able to bring her back. But I feel like this whole arc that she's getting now is that kind of proper ending to her Jedi story.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I think we mentioned this too, but Ahsoka is essentially going to be the main focus of the final 8 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and if you believe what we're saying, which we might as well move on to this article because it's kind of interesting. It give us something to speculate on and probably miss by a mile again. But he's saying the final 4 episodes constitute a film, and it's amazing. So we're essentially in the midst of another movie right now, 5, 6, 7, 8, right?
Mm-hmm. Building up to this
final would be
film.
The build up to this movie, and that worked. That is correct too, because episode 9 is the Anakin and Obi-Wan must decide. So the first movie would essentially end. I'm predicting, which we already did, but we'll do it again, with Ahsoka running into Maul through this Pike mix-up that she's going to get into with these Martez sisters.
Yes, that's the only like the ominous discovery that she makes is, of course, it's fucking Darth Maul. Like, once you bring in crime syndicates and knowing what we know from Solo and everything else, we know that he is a crime syndicate boss. Like, of course, this is
he's
going to
the
be
man.
person.
Like, he's running probably the biggest, the baddest at that point in time. So
Yeah,
he had to get there somehow. I mean, yeah, him and Savage started it. I mean, that's how they essentially got Mandalore in the first place, just taking shit over.
Yeah.
Through crime syndicates, but he eventually takes over Crimson Dawn. Because what is he now? Like the Shadow Collective or some
Shadow
shit like
Collective?
That?
Yeah, Shadow Hand something else.
So there we go. We're sitting there like, oh,
we know everything.
We're fucking awesome. Now we're like, yeah, Shadow.
Yeah, no, Shadow Collective was a criminal alliance.
Who cares?
Yeah. It's the
Who
collective.
cares about the details, right? Fuck it.
Shadow Collective was a criminal alliance and rival Sith order founded during the Clone Wars by Dark Lord of the Sith Darth Maul at the behest of Mother Talzine.
I knew
there
it.
There we go. We did.
I knew it.
Nailed it.
And it was
so. Here's all of the allied forces under the Shadow Collective: Death Watch, Black Sun, Pike Syndicate,
boom,
Hutt Clan, and the Night Brothers. So
Crimson's not even there yet.
Crimson's Dawn is not there yet, so
wow.
I don't know
so
if Crimson. So technically, Crimson Dawn would have been post Clone Wars, right?
Well, because that's what he's in charge of when we meet him again
when we
Solo.
see him in Solo, yeah.
So maybe Crimson Dawn is just everything now.
Yeah, maybe that is like the new Shadow Collective.
Huh.
A lot of underworld. Crimson Dawn. Let's see if we can look this up here because we're on the internet. Criminal organization led by former Sith Lord Darth Maul, who employed Dryden Voss. So Crimson Dawn is post the Shadow Collective, because this is taking place during the Empire. Man. Yeah. So there we go.
Oh yeah, we are Star Wars savants after all.
The affiliation is the 5 syndicates. So the Shadow Collective gets reorganized into the 5 syndicates, which are Crimson Dawn, Black Sun, the Crymora Syndicate, the Hutt Clan, and Pike Syndicate. So you lose Death Watch because Death Watch is then reincorporated into Mandalore once Maul is defeated. And once Bo-Katan,
I'm pretty sure
brings him back
Death Watch gets just. Well, I mean, they were sort of good when they saved Mando. No, they were fucked up at that point, right? They would have been like Maul's Death Watch, maybe. Yeah.
No, when they saved Mando, as in the Mando. Yeah, I guess it's weird. Like those timelines are very close
that's
together.
fucking Clone Wars, so it's got to be either Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith timeline, but not too far. No, it's got to be Attack of the fucking Clones.
Yeah, but I feel like they would have they were still Mandalorians, so they're not gonna let but droids just go.
He was their leader because he had killed Pre by then.
Yeah,
that's how he took over Mandalore. That's why we're gonna see Ahsoka go there and try to fucking kick his ass. Because he's taking over Death Watch.
Like that timeline is so weird because it's so close together. Because when the time between when Shadow Collective folds and then when this new 5 syndicates becomes a thing is like really, really close together. Because the Shadow Collective comes together and dissolves within the same year. Like date fragmented. 19 BBY date
it's
dissolved,
probably
BBY.
Maul just did all that shit to get his power consolidated and then bounced on to the next thing.
Yeah,
probably when he gets kicked the fuck off Mandalore.
Yeah, so it's an interesting all of this shit that's happening here again. This is why the Solo timeline was so interesting because you get to bring in characters like Maul, you get to bring in all of this underworld stuff that's really interesting in Star Wars, but that'll never fucking
that's
happen.
another one where I mean people are like, yeah, it was so dumb and terrible. I just go, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do not understand that take on that movie. I really don't.
And it's just it was interesting to me hearing Taylor talk about her opinions on the movies, because since she is just a casual observer, like, to know that, like, she really liked Solo, because she's like, oh, I got to learn, like, she's like, I got to learn about all these characters that I had known before, and it was really interesting. But she doesn't have that, like, weird attachment to it in a way that's like, that makes you hate something just because you know a lot about it, which is what I think a lot of people feel about Solo. It's like, I know a lot about Star Wars and this is stupid and I hate it. But she's just like a casual fan. She's like, I thought it was great.
I never, like, that doesn't, the thing that bums me out about Star Wars is when the story just doesn't pay off, you know?
Yeah. And I thought Solo paid off really good. I mean, the fucking end of Solo was like, holy shit, we get to see this play out now? Fucking right.
I enjoyed it. But it's another one my kid doesn't like to watch, so that usually says something, I guess. Because she can watch fucking paint dry over and over sometimes. Like,
who would she, like, really attach herself to in that movie, though? Because, like, she...
Nobody. Like, she's now understands a bit better that they're the younger versions of Han and Lando.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I couldn't get her to, like, buy in the Kira or anything.
Yeah, that's the tough part for her in that one. But... yeah, I mean, talking about this, you know, Sam Witwer article, he spoke to IO9, and basically what he's saying is that, like, if you want really good, you know, prequel content, then what you need to look for is the last 4 episodes of this Clone Wars.
Yeah, I mean, he says the best Clone Wars script, but Nick's right. And we've said this a million times. We talked about it again last week. I mean, the Clone Wars has the best prequel era stories you're ever going to get. And this guy, who is a diehard fan and has been working with Star Wars for over 13 years, is saying the finale, as in the last 4 episodes, that's where I'm getting this whole it's a movie thing, is the best shit he's ever read.
Yeah, I mean...
He's like, it's meant to be seen in its entirety together, more so than anything else we've ever done.
Yeah. I mean, that is...
Yeah, but who the fuck's going to wait 4 weeks to watch that?
I mean, if you think about it, too, the episode lengths have been around 22 minutes long, so you're going to get, like, an hour and a half-ish long movie.
And that's what animated movies are. Like, those... I mean, DC makes some fantastic fucking animated movies. They struggle to do live action like motherfuckers, but their animated stuff is great. And they're usually, you know, 76, 80 minutes, shit like that.
Yeah, you don't need a 140-minute long film, the animated film, to tell the stories that we're seeing in Clone Wars. I mean, just 3 or 4 episodes strung together in a cohesive plot line will be plenty enough.
Yeah, here's something else he said that I thought was interesting here. He's kind of talking about what we're going to see and the ramifications that it's going to have on the Star Wars universe and the characters. He says, I'm very, very excited for the audience to see it because it's consequential. It changes the way you think about certain things in Star Wars, changes the way you think about certain characters, and shows some really interesting core mythology stuff. I'm thrilled and I'm shocked.
Yeah, this is the hard one to parse because, like, what is he getting at?
Yeah.
Right?
Consequential, meaning there's impact. I would assume that
will reverberate through the actual
is it like
films.
rippling effect.
And then
the way you think about certain characters and certain things in Star Wars, you're gonna change the way you think. It's like, okay,
it's like, who could he be talking about? It's so interesting because, I mean, well, first off, we know that Ahsoka, that Maul survives this. He gets out.
Oh, yeah.
But we also know that Ahsoka has an entire legion of Republic troops at her side. Does she, like, let him go?
Well, yeah, how's he get out? Or, I mean, you got to remember, maybe Order 66 is going on when he and her eventually fight. Who knows?
Yeah, like...
but her troopers aren't going to be her best friend for long. Dude, and I think it's going to be Rex and her trying to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Bro, you know what would be just sick is if that pops off, Order 66 pops off, and then Maul and Ahsoka are the ones that fight out together. Those two team up.
That would be crazy, but I think Rex would be with them too, because I believe Rex's chip is out based on an old arc. with fives and another clone.
So he would be there with Ahsoka.
Well, he's not going to freak out when Order 66 goes down, and he'll probably be able to initially get her the fuck out of there if she's around a bunch of the clones.
Yeah, but Rex is...
No, I know what you're saying. I think what you're saying would be badass, but it would be all three of them fighting their way out versus just Ahsoka and Maul. I really think Rex and Ahsoka will leave together or get out together. That's how we'll see it.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I think about that, the way that he put those things, it's consequential, and it is consequential because you have essentially a former Jedi that has a former Dark Lord of the Sith at her blade's end and then decides to let him live. And then that Dark Lord of the Sith ultimately goes on to form crime syndicates and try to hunt down the only remaining Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, the hope of the galaxy, into the Star Wars Rebels timeline.
Right.
Like, that's pretty consequential and changes the way that you think about certain characters. I mean, yeah, that would definitely do that.
Well, I mean, Maul also goes mad again at some point in time before we get to the events of the Battle of Yavin and this, that, and the other thing. I mean, Luke's like 10 or something.
Yeah.
But Maul, at one point, for some reason, no longer even leads Crimson Dawn, which you would think we might have seen play out in a Solo trilogy or stuff like that, but ain't gonna happen. Yeah. The other thing, dude, what do you think this core mythology stuff means? Is this like more world between worlds, like that type of shit, like getting deep with the spiritual side of the Force, what you can do, what it means?
Yeah, I mean, it's
astral plane type of stuff.
The core mythology is hard to pin
light
down
and dark.
Because it does kind of reference, like, is this going to be dealing with more of these spiritual force realm of things? Like, you got core mythology when you saw the Mortis arc and you saw the true purpose of the Chosen One. You got some more with, like you mentioned, the world between worlds and Rebels. Like, are we going to get a completely new introduction to more core Star Wars mythology that we've never seen before? Like, I mean,
that's really the reason I ran this interview. What were those two quote blocks? I mean, he goes on and reminds us all, and it's nice to hear it, but these remaining episodes of TCW, this is it. This is the last bit of canon and lore that the maker has given us.
Yeah,
I mean, these are stories that are still come from him, clearly worked on and advanced by Filoni and his new team, but all this shit was more or less drafted out and now expanded upon back when George was still in charge. So, this is it. Like, this is, to those of you the purists and fuck Disney, this, that, and the other thing, they're giving you this, I guess, if anything else, right?
Yeah. At least you're getting the end that George had.
Well, I guess there's people bitching
series.
Like, why the fuck are we getting introduced to these two sister characters? Just get her back with the Jedi, this, that, and the other thing. And I think the way we laid it out and the way the descriptions are playing out, it is going to be a nice progression to really have things make sense, get Maul back into the picture, and kind of really kick things off for that, as Whitwer says here to close this one out, that just insane finish over the final 4 episodes.
Yeah, I think that they're doing it the right way. If you would have just, like, it would have been weird if you essentially see her self-exile, and then this episode that just passed, Beyond a Trace, is the closest that we got to, like, a direct sequel to that time where she takes off. And then within the episode, she's already back with Anakin and Obi-Wan. It wouldn't have made any sense.
No.
Like, you need to have an exiled period of time. Like,
she's going to get to a point, I'm predicting, with this Pike situation, where she's desperate and maybe sees Maul. Maul gets her and he taunts the Jedi, but that's what's going to reconnect them. It's going to be, it's going to feel natural and not forced. And you had to let things breathe a bit. So I'm all for it. I mean, like I said, we're getting from here on out, or starting with the one we just broke down and then continuing through 8, that's a movie. And then 9 through 12, that's a movie. So we essentially have 2 Clone Wars movies coming to us right now, and I think it's going to end fantastically.
Yeah, I agree. So keep your eyes peeled onto the Disney Plus Clone Wars Season 7 run, because, I mean, it's good shit so far. If anybody out there was skeptical about what was going on in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, trust us, this is well worth the 20 minutes per week that it will take you to watch the show. Do it. Get on it. If you haven't seen the rest of the ones before this, like the 1 through, I don't even know if it's even, like, watch the Lost episodes or whatever it's called. But really focus on the core kind of 1 through 5. Get through those stories.
Try to do it chronological. I dare you.
Yeah, it's on StarWars.com. I have not braved that task
It's out
yet.
there, but it's still, I mean, it's something where you got to almost be maintaining a manual list. I just wish some dumbass intern at Disney Plus could just create the fucking playlist.
Yeah, I know, right? If it's already there, just have one dude just be like, hey, they put together a 20-episode run of like, oh, these are all the essential Clone Wars episodes
I know.
to watch.
All right, we'll
Just
add the other fucking
reorder the
100
things.
plus.
Yeah, just fucking reorder them. I mean, it would suck, but that's what interns are supposed to do.
Exactly. I mean, it would be, you walk in the morning, you're done by lunch. I mean, fuck, it's not that hard. I'll do it. Just give me access to the fucking system. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, all you got to do is reorder stuff. So
it's not hard. I'm sure it's just fucking drag and drop. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Put it in a
All
spreadsheet. CSV.
Kind of, yeah. It's very easy. Continuing with the Ahsoka stuff, though, the Ahsoka Tano.
This thing's still, man, I don't know.
We don't know if it's legit, but everybody across the internet
world
has run
seems
with
to
it.
think it is.
Yeah, like, I don't think that Rosario, let's check before I make a fool of myself. Like, Rosario has not commented on this or anything like that, but there is a rumor out of Slash Film. I mean, they're reporting it as an exclusive. So Slash Film
And dude, I saw, what's his name? What's that fucker? The ABC guy.
Sandell, Clayton Sandell.
He came out and said, yo, Ahsoka in season 2, yeah. Rosario can't confirm that.
Cannot confirm. So,
but other sites I've seen, I think like the Hollywood Reporter's like, yes, I confirm what Slash Film's saying. So I think if anything, you can probably bank on Ahsoka in Mando season 2 in live action form.
Yeah, that's a go. But the rumor part is that it is going to be Rosario Dawson playing her. Now, what makes this, like, I don't want to say hard to believe, but what makes it so interesting is that, like, Rosario has actually called for this part multiple times. She's like, I want to do this.
Too perfect of a scenario is what I think. So I would be more shocked if it was 100% true that she is playing the character than if she wasn't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I totally buy that she as in Ahsoka is in season 2. We talked about it.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Because you can't, again, you technically can't use Luke, apparently, right? Skywalkers are off limits.
Off limits.
I mean, you can probably mention them, maybe. Who knows? So what else do you got? And I know Nick and I, we've talked about this, and we're like, it's got to be Luke, Ahsoka, or they're inventing a new character.
Yeah, it's like the reintroduction of Kyle Katarn was like the only other
thing. Or fucking Ezra shows up out of nowhere, and they just plot hole the shit out of that.
Yeah, so I'm really, like, I'm excited, one, that Clayton Sandell has essentially come out and confirmed that Ahsoka is going to be in season 2, because that in itself is huge. Sandell is probably the most plugged in.
Let me just scan leaks again, but I know for a fact he did.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look him up on Twitter.
Yeah, so Boris Kitt from Hollywood Reporter said true news to the Slash Film deal. Clayton says a live-action version of Ahsoka Tano appearing in the second season of the Mando is correct. I heard a couple names floated. Dawson was indeed one, but I can't confirm the Slash Film casting scoop. However, I can say Ahsoka will not be played by Ashley, and she actually put out a message today confirming that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley Eckstein is the voice actress for Ahsoka. I mean, everybody who's on the internet and who heard about this rumor says oh, it should be Ashley Eckstein. But like Ashley is a great voice actress for her, but she can't. I don't think that she has the look to actually play Ahsoka in the series. Like she doesn't like. I know that it's a fucking alien, and you can just put makeup on people to make them look like something else. But I don't think that Ashley Eckstein has the like the look to do it, like the physicality to play Ahsoka. If you know what Ashley Eckstein looks like, she's like a little person, like not a little person, but she's like a smaller girl.
She's
like
short. She's like me.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the 5'6" and under crew, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's interesting because with the introduction of Ahsoka, you would assume, if we follow the end of the Rebels timeline, that there would also be the introduction of Sabine Wren. Like, is that...
Well, hey, it makes fucking sense, right?
To me, it does.
Right? Right. I mean, dude, it makes... Everything is aligning right now. I mean, that could be the Sasha Banks thing. She very well could be fucking Sabine Wren.
So, we...
But, back to Rosario. Don't get me wrong. I think she would be fantastic. She does look like Ahsoka. 100%. Like facial structure, eyes. Yeah, they have to paint her up orange a little bit. But she looks sexy as fuck. And you know how I like the Togruta and the Twi'leks, dude. I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm already having dirty thoughts thinking about Rosario playing the role.
Matt would just be replaying episodes over and over again just for his own gratification.
Nonstop. Nonstop. Because, I mean, she would look like a goddess. And I'd love, like, any Variety or Vanity Fair shoots they would have to do with her. Right? They would have to.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I mean, in this day and age, until Disney comes out and says, 100%, I'm not like these fucking sites coming out, guaranteed, 100%, take it to the bank. I think it could very well happen. It just, to me, the first thing I thought about was like, it's too perfect. It would be as if they got Sebastian Stan to play young Luke. You know what I mean? I mean, that's another thing fans have been wanting. They're like, oh, it's perfect. He looks just like him. He'd be a great young Luke. That's why I'm skeptical about Rosario as Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka in Mando, yes, I think it's 100%. Sabine is probably going to be there too. Will they talk about Ezra? Who knows? Doesn't make sense for the story. It would be fantastic. But until Disney comes out, I'm like, all right, whatever. Yes, it'd be great, but ain't true yet.
Hold on it. And like, it would be really interesting to have an alien of that caliber be in live action and a main character in a
dude, it would
Star
be
Wars
unreal.
television.
I mean, I don't know if it had ever happened before in a franchise of the size and scope of Star Wars.
Yeah, because
where a character fundamentally started animated and years later became a fully realized live action character that was having major impacts on the canon.
Yeah, I can't think of... I mean, I'm sure that there are some instances of it, but in terms of things that I'm aware of in my fandom, I can't think of anything like that. And it would be really fucking cool. And it would be the culmination of all of Dave Filoni's works coming together. Like, coming together as one. He would essentially say, like, the character that I was allowed to create and build in 2004 or whatever it was, 2006, 7, is now a primary character in the first ever live action Star Wars TV series that I helped create. Like, I think it would be a really good, a big win for Filoni in his career. So I want to see it happen. Looking forward to it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing all over this. I think it'd be fantastic if she does it. I love this girl. I mean, I think she is dynamic, as in very, very pretty. But she also does look like Ahsoka. I mean, let's be real. The comparisons are legit. I'm just going to wait until Lucasfilm, Favreau, or Filoni are like, oh, yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
At this point, it'd be odd that they haven't come out and just said, hey, yeah, you got us. But I get it. They're probably wanting to, at this point, just even hold back the reveal of Ahsoka in the fucking series. You know, they're probably kind of bummed out right now. They're probably like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably like, oh man, we have this whole.
That was our Baby Yoda moment. I guarantee that's like our Baby Yoda moment.
Like, they have this whole animated series going on now with Ahsoka as the main character, introducing a lot of people to her for the first time. So they're probably like, oh man, let this play out and then wait till Mando season 2 comes out. We're going to fucking blow their minds. And now they're like, God damn internet. Like, the fucking internet. Yeah. Why?
That would be a bummer because, let's be real. I mean, the Mandalorian's fantastic start to finish, but would it though, without that little baby reveal at the end of episode 1 that just caught us all completely by surprise?
Oh, it's a complete. If Baby Yoda is not in that, it's a completely different show.
I mean that had to have been a moment like when people first learned the Darth Vader and Luke heritage or parentage connection.
Yeah, because it's one of those moments that changes everything.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, man, season 2, Mando, keep your eyes peeled. Should be coming out sometime October this year. So we're only, 8 months? Not even 8 months. 7 months away? Getting there?
Yeah, who was it? I think it was Greggy, but he was like, oh, they might release season 2 early because of the coronavirus. I'm like, there's no way, dude. They're probably still...
They're still working on it.
Trying to punch up post and everything. I mean, I know those screens are fucking badass, but they still got to do a lot of VFX there.
Yeah, I mean, if we're still in lockdown by September, you might get it then.
Oh, dude, if we're still in lockdown by September, I will be dead because I don't have enough guns and ammo to stay alive because it will get crazy by then.
Oh, yeah, if it goes on that long, then society will be at a full standstill.
I mean, the U.S., we are not equipped for this shit.
Yeah.
We are very pampered and used to comforts.
Dude,
and people are not going to be able to handle an extended lockdown.
I can't even get into a grocery store without standing in a line. Like, they have limited the amount of people into grocery stores now.
Yeah.
So,
do you guys stand 6 feet apart in line?
We haven't been in line yet. We haven't done it yet. We bought enough food to get us through probably the middle of next week. And then after that, we're going to be like, okay, how are we going to survive?
Oh, shit. Do you guys have Whole Foods delivery by you?
Some of them do. So, like, our HEB, like our local grocery store, does curbside pickup. So you can schedule curbside. But when we tried to do it, the soonest that we could schedule curbside starting yesterday was Sunday. So you have to plan like a week in advance.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's getting wild. I mean, I'm not kidding. I've spent $700 on grocery and beer the past 2 weeks to prepare, and so I think I have at least 5 weeks of beer, as long as I, keep my drinking limited to just the weekends.
Ration it properly, yeah.
Which I don't really drink during the week, anyways. And then food wise, like actually. Good stuff, the stuff I like to eat, like my diet food, chicken, eggs, that type of shit. I've got at least 3 to 4 weeks of that. And then bullshit food, like stuff that'll kill you and make you really fat and stupid, but will last. I've got plenty.
Nice. Well, at least you can get stupid if the world breaks down.
With totally. Diet may be going out the window here week 3 or 4, because I think if anything, we're at least locked down through Easter, if not longer. It should be like, if you believe the doctor, like Fauci or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
He's like, if it were up to me, we'd be restrictive through July.
Yeah. So we are 100% shelter in place until April 13th. Right. That is our mandate as it goes into effect today.
Yeah. I think we're the same, or we're a week earlier, but I'm sure our governor will change it now. Which means, you basically, you shouldn't leave, or you can't leave unless you are getting food or treatment or trying to help someone.
Non-essential is basically the way they put it. So
fun. All right, let's get back to Star Wars. That was really uplifting.
So, we knocked out all of our proper topics for this week in terms of things that we have posts for on StarWarsTime.net that you can follow along with in the post shell here. What we'll go into now is our kind of, our discussion on the featurettes and the full-length feature doc
mostly
that comes from
just
Rise of Skywalker.
Just the big boy. I mean, the little ones, they're nice. I mean, as Nick said earlier offline, there's a special one for the digital exclusive. It's like 10, 11 minutes just on John Williams. That one is probably the best of the featurette breakdowns. There's another decent one about the race in the desert, but the bread and butter is in the 2-hour documentary. So we both have watched. I've watched it 1.5 times now. Nick's about 1 3/4 done, or 3/4 done in the one.
Yeah.
But overall, in terms of just a pure special feature for a film of this scope, it's actually pretty excellent in terms of showing you how a movie like this is made and why movies like this costs over $200 million and why people get pissed when it only makes $1.2 billion and shit like that. I mean, dude, just some of the sets they were building, the shit they're doing in the deserts, digging the desert out and putting in those fucking trailers so they could do the quicksand and this, that, and the other thing. So from that standpoint, it's great in terms of just seeing filmmaking and the process play out.
Yeah.
But it also has some good Star Wars moments if you're a fan. So I just noted some of those down. Nick, if you remember any or you think of anyone, just go ahead and jump in. But the first one I have written down here for us is there's like a little, you can tell that they don't have hard cuts to segments, but you can tell when they transition to a different part of the movie or a different character, this, that, or the other thing. So there is a segment on Carrie Fisher and, what they had to do to bring her back and how it really did kind of shape the story. I mean, they essentially, the VFX wizards would be like, all right, JJ, this is what we can do with this footage. This is what she says. These are the camera setups. Now you write a scene around that. Yeah,
exactly. Like you would think it'd be the opposite way, that that JJ would essentially have this movie written and then he would figure out how to fit the footage from episode 7 in with Carrie. It's not how it happened. He wrote those scenes and he wrote specific parts of this movie around that footage. Like he didn't just try to shoehorn her in. Which some people can argue that that's why it felt weird and that's why things, there were certain parts of that movie that felt rushed or didn't feel in place. But like Kathleen said, like JJ said, and every one of the actors that was interviewed during that little segment that Matt was talking about, you couldn't tell the story of episode 9 without Carrie, without Leia there.
Yeah, she had to be in there. So it was neat to see how they brought her back, and you kind of saw how Daisy had to essentially act with nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it showed in a few of those early scenes for sure. I really enjoyed the stunt piece. I always love the stunt stuff. I think stunt people get fucked over, that there's no Oscar or award for them. I mean, these fuckers, they are the people that make movies like this excellent, really, to make any movie excellent.
That Eunice woman
she's intense,
a boss,
but that's kind of how they are, man. Now you know why my stunt buddy is, sometimes when he's trying to critique me, he's such an asshole. They're just fucking intense.
Yeah.
And that's just how you got to be, I guess. But in particular, I like the Adam stuff and how he basically told her, listen, Kylo wouldn't do that. Kylo would do what Kylo wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost like how Harrison was on Indiana Jones. He was telling Spielberg, that whole, remember in Indiana Jones, it was the first one. It was Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's that sword scene and then he shoots the guy.
Yeah.
That was all Harrison.
Right.
And that's the same thing that fucking Adam does.
But I mean, I think we've all heard that Adam is, I don't think he's as method as, what's his name from My Left Foot?
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. Like, I don't think he walks around for all 6 months as Kylo Ren. Who knows? But I think on set he is like that.
Yeah.
So, like, this unit's like, yeah, no, dude. And he's like, listen, motherfucker, I'm Kylo Ren. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's like Kylo.
And really, I mean, honestly, Nick, the best part of this documentary to me are the few minutes you get of Adam Driver enthusiastically talking about this role. Like, I could take 2 hours of just listening to him talk about himself play Kylo Ren Ben Solo.
I really do like the way that he talks about the physicality of Kylo and how he took that personally. Like, that was something, because he does all of his own stunts. Like, Adam he did every stunt in every movie. And the reason that he does that is because he said, like, Kylo is a very physical character, and I have to know that it's being done properly. So that he doesn't let people do stunts for Kylo. He does it all himself.
Oh, yeah. No, he is Kylo on that set. So, I mean, the whole Kylo part with Adam, like I said, it's so fascinating to hear that guy talk about the character. I mean, you can tell that he loved him. And again, it's a shame that we didn't get more of just, exposition on that character just through Adam, but is what it is.
Yeah.
The Emperor part was neat. I mean, seeing Ian get dressed up and in those robes. I mean, man, that fucking costume was fantastic when see it in that light, dude.
Dude, it's just like...
I want that. I literally want to wear that. Like, I want that as a robe to wear around my house.
It's just like Ian McDiarmid is one of those characters that's so... Well, he created a character in Palpatine that's so next level that no matter what he's in, if he is playing Emperor Palpatine, it's good. Like, no matter what you think about Tross, when Ian is turned on and he's Palpatine, it's like, it's a transcendent experience.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. It was, I mean, and that's why I wrote it down. I also... I found it interesting. They explained why Kylo's helmet looks the way it does.
Yeah.
And it's based on old Japanese pottery and how they used to use gold to fix smashed pots and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that...
And they also explained really why he wanted... it just makes him feel more powerful. It's like, hey, whatever. It's just because he hates Rian Johnson. It's why that happened. The Sally Guinness cameo, all right? Granddaughter of Alec Guinness. She was at the meeting of the First Order officers when Kylo first walks in with his helmet reforged.
Yes.
That was kind of neat.
You know what I thought was funny about this doc? Anytime they showed Alec, he looked miserable.
Oh, the guy, he's on record saying he fucking, hated doing it. He felt like
because he thought it was like cheap cinema. He's like, this is not, he was a classically trained British actor.
There's that one segment where, Harrison's just fumbling lines left and right and Mark's fucking around, like laughing like a doofus. And Alec is literally sitting there going, I wish I was dead. Who the fuck signed me up for this? I'm firing my manager, my agent, my wife, everybody.
Yeah, he probably has turned over in his grave multiple times knowing that he is most famous and will be most famous.
Oh, he hated it. Like, the older he got, he's like, it's the bane of my existence that I am forever known as this Ben Kenobi character. No one else knows anything I've ever done.
It's sad for him, but also not many actors can ever say that they will live on in history.
Dude, bro, you're immortal.
Anything.
Like you are an immortal hero, a legend, literally.
Like let that sink in.
Get over it. All right. I also found I don't know if you got up to this part, Nick, but they showed how the quicksand was done. That was all practical. I thought that was neat.
I saw that. It was all black beans.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Black beans, and then they literally just dug a big hole and put shipping containers down there and had like an elevator system.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like the fucking shit. The shit people MacGyver figure out and the money and manpower that movies require. It's like, I know everyone makes fun of the industry and they're like, it's fucking Hollywood elites, the liberals, this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, dude, when movies productions are going like that, a lot of people are getting work.
Yeah.
Like good labor work.
Yeah, and they showed like they put tons of people to work in Jordan, like on the Wadi
That
Rum
whole
set.
fucking army, basically.
I
had some of that, like the desert stuff. I mean, they brought the army in, the Jordanian army. We got. I think there was a bit where they really put the focus on the dynamic between Rey and Kylo. I did enjoy that. Daisy talking about the fight and how it sucked to fight out in the cold, and
she was like, oh well, I won't really have to do this, and then she realizes like, oh, I really do have to do this. I thought that was funny.
The Babu Frick stuff was great to see how he was ran. I mean, he required 4 motherfuckers in green suits in addition to the voice actress moving his mouth.
Who was working the mouth. Yeah, that was crazy.
and what did he have? In that little fucking head, it was something like 31 servos or some shit.
Yeah, to like make all of his
that
face.
That is just insane.
I also thought it was cool that like Mark was there the whole time. Like he was the one who was
how about that? Like, it's almost like they gave Mark a tour of the behind the scenes and the sets. He's probably there a day, maybe a day or two, or after he did a pickup or something. But I mean, you can tell Mark, he loves all this shit, like the creature stuff, the puppets, this, that, and the other thing. So I did enjoy that, having Mark there.
Yeah.
The Williams thing, again, he gets another focus here where they actually explain his cameo in the film, but also the 51 Easter eggs. So
that was insane.
Isn't that crazy, dude? And just shows you how thoughtful JJ is.
Yeah, so that was the last thing that I saw was the Williams breakdown. So anything, well, I saw the Babu, like the full Babu Frick breakdown, but once you got into like I got to the part where they started talking about the Death Star wreckage, and that's how like JJ has wanted to go there since The Force Awakens and everything like that.
Right,
I didn't really.
It's not like I'm gonna spoil anything for you, and we need to get quicker anyways. Probably we're dragging things as usual, but another one I get into that I enjoyed. It goes into the ocean fight, and I don't know. I don't know if a fan or a reader or just someone online posted this, or if it's in the documentary, but they make the comparison between the Mustafar battle and this battle.
Yeah.
And how this one you have the dark figure ascending to the light, so it's it's out in the open. You got the waves, the water. It's very light toned, and then the Mustafar, you had the light going the dark, so it was all shitty and fire and death and carnage.
See, like shit like that, it just makes you appreciate this film so much more. Like when you hear the filmmakers, whether it be Terrio, like Terrio talks a lot and JJ talks a lot, and you see the detail that they put in, just like them explaining how they built Kijimi to be based off of Akira Kurosawa's work.
I love this shit. I mean, this documentary is fantastic for that. I will say though, for someone like me, it still depressed me a bit because, as Nick said, you see all the ideas these people had, and we know how many were cut. And then it's just, it compounds into, well, fuck, the whole trilogy ended up kind of being a bummer because it didn't pay off. The movies individually are all pretty good, but together it's not cohesive. So it's a fantastic documentary for filmmaking, in particular making a Star Wars movie. But it's also kind of depressing when you're like, in multiple senses, this is the last Skywalker movie. You're never going to see this shit again. I mean, we know a lot of the stuff that these people worked on never made it into the film, and we'll never see it ever. But it is good. I mean, you get a good more Adam with this ocean part, Nick. Han, you get some discussion on the Han part, and Harrison clarifies something.
Yeah,
I think you'd like to hear this. He clarifies that he never wanted Han to just die. He wanted him to die, but in a meaningful way that added to the story and really kind of cemented Han's legacy.
So that's what really drew him back, was that like it wasn't that like we're just gonna kill you, like we're gonna have you get run over by a fucking
and it does sound
bike.
like he genuinely
cares about the character,
but also the character's impact on Adam Driver's character. It's almost like Harrison's respect for Adam and what Adam has done with Ben and their tie through, their character's lineage. he was like, I wanted this to happen for the character of Ben Solo to give him more gravitas almost.
Yeah.
This one was kind of shocking, but I think we knew it. I mean, Daisy literally has a direct comment on she was so glad that the Luke of old returned in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to this part yet, but you mentioned it to me, like kind of when we were talking back and forth about it.
There's no way it will not make you perk up. Like if you happen to be looking at your broken phone or something, when you hear her say it, you will go, whoa.
Well, dude, like she also earlier in that doc, when they're going through and they're on Kijimi, she says something again, like kind of a subtle jab at TLJ. She's like, I didn't want any more of the Kylo and Rey from 8. Like she was
right.
like, I was like, damn, yo.
Yeah, it was rough. So you also get kind of a direct Ben Solo bit, which was great, but again, sad because there was so little of it. This was just an interesting nugget. Dennis Lawson, who plays Wedge, literally sounds just like Ewan McGregor, and that is because they are direct relatives. I believe he's his uncle.
That's his uncle, yeah.
I mean, dude, my God, Nick, this is another one. When you hear this guy talking, close your eyes. You'll be like, that's fucking Ewan McGregor's up there.
It's so crazy, too, because you know Wedge's voice. Like, you've heard Wedge speak before.
But they catch him, doing behind-the-scenes stuff, talking to JJ, and he sounds just fucking like Ewan. It's uncanny. I mean, I know I sound like my dad, but I don't hear it myself because I've heard him my whole life. But, if two people listen to us, it'd be like, yeah, you guys are related. It was weird. I never knew like an uncle and a nephew could just sound so similar. So I wrote that down. And then the last one, just for, pretty much our main demo here, they do some stuff with miniatures, and it literally is toy photography. They show how they shot the Jawa flyover at the end, and it's literally, using trickery. They had the Jawas in the distance, a smaller sand crawler up front so they can make it look small, this, that, and the other things. So it is a pretty good documentary. Overall, for filmmaking, excellent. Lots of great insights. But in terms of how it will make you feel at the end, I was still like, oh, man, I am bummed out. Like, literally, that's the last extended Skywalker-related content ever. Yeah. And it also reminded me of what Rise of Skywalker could have been without it being shaved down to a 2-hour and 20-minute long movie.
Yeah. I mean, what I've enjoyed about it so far is seeing the joy that everybody has working on it. And I only watched the TLJ behind the scenes doc once, and that was really more focused on Ryan and on Mark and stuff like that. But I don't remember seeing the level of enjoyment from that I see in the Tross.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you never know, but there's been shit on Reddit. I believe there is a subreddit dedicated to saltier
than Crate.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. Lucasfilm employees that go on there and air their grievances. And the general theme, don't quote me on this, I'm not trying to throw more pitchforks his way, but the general theme is that the crews that have worked on all the movies were glad JJ was coming back. It didn't sound like they quite enjoyed working with Ryan. Not so much he was a tyrant. It's just like, nah, this is how we do things. We do it this way.
Yeah. And
you're right, dude. I mean, you watch this, and I go, man, I should have left with my buddy all those years ago. Just fucking picked up and left and went out to L.A.
Yeah.
Because how fucking excellent would it be to work on a movie like that?
Yeah, it makes you want to be a part of that.
It's grueling work. It's horrible work. I've gone out with my dude when he was coordinating a decent project, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll come out on set all day. It was one of the worst days of my life. Because you sit around and do fucking nothing, but you have to be there for like 12 or 15 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mind-numbing boring. I mean, it is awful.
Dude, can you imagine having to do that
in
the
a
Wadi
desert.
Rum Desert in
Yeah,
Jordan?
fuck, that's what I mean. Like, I'm never going to listen to these be like, oh, you poor thing, you worked on a Star Wars movie. I mean, fuck you, but trust me, it's not easy either.
Yeah.
I mean, the actors, they have it easy. They're treated like fucking gods and royalty. And you can even see this in this documentary. I mean, it's hilarious how famous people are treated. It's fucking so disgusting, but whatever.
But
it's
yeah,
like they're
dude,
fucking gods, man. Demigods. He's a
yeah.
demigod.
It's American. Like you can blame America for that.
Oh,
For those of
totally.
you
That's our
listening,
export, brother. I mean, our export is celebrity.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of Australian listeners. If you want to blame anybody for why actors make as much money as they do and why they're treated the way that they are, that is 100% the US of A's fault.
Demigods among us. There's no doubt about it.
But all right, so like Matt was saying, this doc is definitely worth a watch, especially if you're just a fan of filmmaking. If you're a fan of Star Wars in general, because it does talk a lot about the original trilogy and what was being done there and George's vision. And it talks a lot about why the decisions in that movie were made specifically to loop back to things that were in the originals and that were in the stories that George were telling. So just give it a watch. I mean, it is long for a feature. I mean, it's a 2-hour long documentary, but in order to give you the full picture view of this movie and how it pertains to the greater Skywalker saga, it required that amount of time. So give it a watch. Definitely worth it. And now, Matt,
you got it. It's that
I
time.
don't know. Yeah, it's time. It's time for the top 5.
Time.
But it's really the
Prime
top
time.
6 this week. The Matt Haywood honorable mention has been dropped in to the top 5 Star Wars Instagram artist features of the week. So
how about that? Before we get there, though, dude, I do have some mentions. So they are keeping up. They are keeping up. I mean, it's not as many. I mean, the numbers are down in March again because you motherfuckers bail out on us. If we're not stroking your egos long enough, or every cast, you just bail. But numbers are still good. Way better than last year, trust me. We are trending in the right direction, but it's never enough for me. Remember, I am the Sith, the all-consuming. I need it all. I'm like Palpatine. Look what you have built.
Oh, I love that.
So, yeah, dude, we got some good mentions this week. I'm actually trying to get the most recent one in there so I don't fuck it up. There we go. Bingo. Hopefully it syncs to my desktop soon. If not, there we go. We got it. All right, so... it would not be an episode of Star Wars Time Show Prime Time without a mention of Greg Bird, right?
Yep, there he is.
This guy has dedicated his life to the Star Wars Time Show, to myself, to Nick. I think he would take a bullet for us at this point in time.
I would hope so.
Or at least catch us on fire. But anyways, this week, this motherfucker... listened to last week, and he said I was the one asking for this. I thought Nick did, but either way, it doesn't matter.
It was me. It was fucking hilarious.
This guy made miniature Star Wars Time toilet paper for assholes with our logo printed on the miniature toilet paper, and it looks fucking perfect. Like, it is perfect.
I saw it and I was like, "Oh my god! I can't believe this motherfucker made it." I don't even
know how he pulled this one off. I mean, where he gets a little bag for this shit. I mean, it is the crafting that this guy gets into and dedicates to the show is unbelievable and greatly appreciated. I mean, it's just fantastic. Who knows? It may come to the point where we have to ask Greg to send us these little paper rolls that'll like stick on one of our fingers, and we'll have to, jam up our ass and wipe it that way.
We may need these in real life, Greg. Toilet paper is in dire supply right now.
We're gonna be getting to the old hand method. Wipe the hand, get in the shower.
Yeah,
because don't even do that. Just get in the shower and fucking spray it out like a bidet.
Oh man, I may have to see if we can get a bidet, like one of those, like connected bidets.
Hell yeah, a Toto toilet. Yeah, that rich people get. Hell yeah, dude.
Need one of those.
All right, next up, we got a pretty cool mention from South P24, Paul. I think we talked, I don't know if we featured him last week.
I believe he did make the top 5 last week, yes.
But anyways, he posted a picture on his account, South P24, and the caption was, after seeing the amazing heavy Mandalorian shot by @RoboScott and listening to Matt and Nick from @Star Wars Time Show talk about his pile of bodies setup, I was totally inspired. So here's my take on it.
Look at that.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, South P. I'm glad we could motivate you to create an excellent looking shot. I think that's awesome. See, people, they do like us. People really do like us.
People listen.
We are popular. We are cool. We get toilet paper made for us, and people are inspired to create art. Shit, dude. We're becoming demigods ourselves. Next up, this is kind of a personal one here, but I was like, hey, why not? I'll throw it out there. This is for the Haywood Pop. What? Steadily declining and dying on Instagram. That's how I roll. My reach now is all the way back down to 281 after reaching upwards of 1,600 just 4 weeks ago. Fuck you, Instagram. Eat a dick.
Yeah, I'll go.
I hope you die.
All-powerful.
Seriously. Instagram and Facebook, they both can get COVID-19. But anyways, back to my little horn tooting. There's this new account on the scene on Instagram, Toy Photography and Art Channel. And the dude made a personal video for some of my shots to showcase on his channel. So I thought that was awesome. Quite nice. And then last but not least, this one just came in today because I featured a shot from Intergalactic Raptor.
I love that, bro.
Right. So he said, thanks for sharing my pic, guys. I super appreciate it. It cheered me up during a particularly crappy day in work. Thanks. That's what we're here for, right? We may be a bunch of assholes, and you all may be a bunch of assholes, but we're here for each other.
We try to make everybody's quarantined work a little bit easier now. I mean, none of you, if you're working from home, hopefully a lot of our listeners are not affected work-wise by this whole catastrophe that's happening.
Unfortunately, I'm sure that's not the case. In fact, not the case. Our buddy Cryo just got hit by it. Yeah, he got let go on the unemployment, so he's going on the government vacation, as he said.
Yeah, that's
yeah. It's hey man, like I said, shit's fucked up. I mean,
but hopefully,
listen to science, listen to doctors, please.
Yes.
Don't listen to anything else.
Yes, exactly.
There's some dumb shit going on. Did you see those fuckers in Arizona killed themselves?
Yeah, because they took aquarium tablets.
Yeah, because Great Leader said it can heal. It's like, come on, people, use your fucking brains.
Yeah, don't do that. But you know what? I hope that people who are affected, people who are working from home, you can get a little bit of joy by listening to us idiots spout bullshit about Star Wars and just try to entertain you for a couple hours a week. So
yeah, I mean, Nick may be joining you soon.
I know, right?
Right. I mean, I think he's taking like an early retirement. So,
bro, I am. I got the house coming on the 30th. My thing is, and I have to make sure that I have motherfucking internet as soon as possible because.
Oh yeah, the show collapses quickly. Like, society may make it a few more months, but it's starting to sound like the Star Wars Time Show may be collapsing by this weekend.
Yeah, so I know that I can get AT&T Uverse 1,000 up, 1,000 down internet for like $60 a month. It's just a matter of whether they can come out to the house and hook it up.
Yeah, seriously, dude. The show may be going solo, or like I said, I'll be putting up applications while Nick's trying to figure out how to get plugged back into the universe in quarantine with literally nothing to do because he will not have internet.
I will tell you that my refrigerator will not be getting here until April 1st, which is 3 days after I close.
Oh, you're done. Nick will be MIA for the foreseeable future. I'm making the prediction right now. He's going to be going Walking Dead. He'll be like Rick Grimes shooting motherfuckers here by next week.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting
I need to
time.
eat. Booyah!
So, but
anyways, dude, well, Hopefully not, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
If anything, we can do a call in.
The quality will just be shit. We'll have to do it like Skype wise, and it'll just be real beat. But trust me, we'll get it going. Fear not.
Figure something out.
Let's get on with this. So this is the top 5 plus 1, as we're going to be calling it from here on out. This is where I think this will kind of be the flow. We've been doing this, trying it out in 2020, where 1 week I shit on myself with one of my shots that Nick surprised me with, and the next week we do an honorable mention. Nick's been doing them, but it kind of makes sense that maybe I pick those. So we'll kind of be doing that. So we're gonna go ahead and let Nick do his top 5, and then I'll get into obviously my honorable mention, which is just part of the top 6. There's no real rankings here after all.
Yeah. Matt's top 1. So.
There you go. Yeah, so you better feel extra fucking special.
I know.
When we get to
all of the shots.
Honorable mention.
There we go. So first up this week in the top 5 is a returning friend and member of the top 5 crew. This is 030079AR.
Ray or Rye.
REI, Ray. So not like Ray, our buddy from from Star Wars, but REI,
Sexy
like
Ray.
Other Ray. So what we see here is a
this is a fresh one.
It is. It's cool. I like it. It's a mashup of sorts, kind of, not even really a mashup anymore. But what you have is Darth Vader Lego style. You have Mickey Mouse Lego style on a Death Star bridge, on a Super Star Destroyer bridge, looking at a Mickey-shaped Death Star. I thought this was fucking really, really cool.
It's good work all around. I'm assuming that the 2 figures are the only practical things in the shot. Everything else is digital, but 030079AR, which is AR Ray, just always does just a bang up job in post with adding in the effects and really dressing up the shot and making it pop. And clearly you get some of the tongue in cheek here, that Disney's the evil empire now. They own the license and they're destroying it and this, that, and the other thing. But I just, from a pure art creation standpoint, this one is an eye catcher.
It is. It's really eye catching. It's really fun in the concepting that Ray put together here, and just really all around is a fun play on the new kind of Star Wars dynamic that we see in the world. So at 030079AR on Instagram. Well done. Beautiful shot. Moving on to the next up in the top 5. This is Rust Belt Collector.
All right. He's definitely in the pack of assholes. Rust
Belt Collector is an avid follower
he interacts.
of the show.
He's an interactor.
Interact. And what we have by him is a fantastic shot of a bunch of wartime stormtroopers going down on Mimban. So his caption here is 3rd Battalion Nexu Company of the 224th holding the front lines on Mimban.
I always like motherfuckers that know all this shit. Like, they either know how to make it up and it makes sense, or if I said that, I have no clue how military shit's broken down outside of what they say in movies. You got like squads, and then there's a platoon, and then there's fucking battalion and a company and this, that, and the other thing. It's like either Rust Belt knows how that shit is and makes this up, or he actually knows some sort of story where there was troopers that are in this actual company. I'm always impressed by that. As not as much as the shot. The shot's fucking killer.
But I mean, I think it might be. Is this the company, or is this like a division of troops that were on Mimban?
That's what I mean. Like, does he know that from canon or something? Was that in like the Solo visual dictionary or cross reference, or is he just pulling that out of his ass because you know how to lay down that type of military division designation?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I know that. So like looking up, I don't think that it's real. I know that Nexu Company is it's like a guild for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
There you go. So that's what I mean.
The only thing that came
in the
up
end, who cares? It's the shot. That's why we're here. But I just, like I said, my captions are so fucking dumb and basic. They're either like the initials or the blah blue or blah.
Yeah. But I mean, this shot, I mean, really what makes it sing and what makes it pop is the weathering, the amount of weathering that Rust Belt Collector was able to put on these figures, and then that one laser blast you see coming from, the trooper.
Yeah,
using
the
sniper
poses
rifle
are good, and the depth of the shot's good. I mean, he's got characters behind it. He's got dressing behind it. It looks like he's made little fucking sandbags out of God knows what.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you put the time into staging a shot, dressing it up, and you actually have these little props, I mean, that's the crazy thing. I mean, these little sandbags he's using, they're probably like you could fit them. They're probably an inch long or wide or something like that. They're so little, yet in this shot, the way it looks real. It looks life size. So
yeah, exactly.
It is a great war scene, as I call it, shot from the good old Rust Belt Collector of Ohio.
Beautiful, beautiful work there at Rust Belt Collector, all one word, on Instagram. Well done, sir. Next up is, I mean, this is we've featured this account before, and he's still kind of a growing account here on IG. 18 posts so far, 516 followers. This is Kenobi1TO, and it is it's a fantastic shot of a clone trooper just kind of in the middle of what looks like a hurricane and a battle, just blasting B-1 battle droids to pieces. And I like his original caption here. He's clearly feeling the same COVID-19 fears that we are. His caption says, "Hands off my toilet paper."
What is the fucking... I still don't understand the toilet paper hoarding. Like, I mean...
I don't get it
what's
either,
wrong
dude.
with people?
Like, it happened before.
I know, before shit even got real. I mean, that's what I mean. It's like, what the fuck is it? Why, if you're planning for a pandemic and a lockdown, would you instantly go to, I need $500 worth of toilet paper?
I don't know, dude, because if it was me, and a lot of people did this too, pasta and rice are the first things that I'm going for.
I'm not kidding, dude. I mean, how I wipe my ass is the last thing I'm thinking about right now. Because I'm locked down in my house. Worst comes to worst, as long as I have running water, I can get my asshole cleaned out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need to worry about
I don't care. Yeah, big deal. I might get a
Charmin.
little fucking fecal matter on my hand that I have to wash off again, but tough shit.
Yeah,
at least I'll have food. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, man, I do. I love the pose. I like the lighting he got here. I mean, it looks like he comped in a background, or maybe it's Digirama. Who knows? But I mean, the B1's got a great pose. Having that debris kind of behind him, looking like it's in motion. It looks like it has some sort of motion blur on it. Yeah, that kind of adds to the action feel of the shot. But it's almost like an 80s kind of action movie poster, right? Like,
yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sly even. I'm here to fucking kick ass and take names and kick ass type of thing.
Yeah, and I like it too because if you go on Kenobi1TO's Instagram page, he does give you the BTS, and he's basically got the figure in front of a green screen.
Ah, yeah, okay, and then, there you go.
Yeah, like he cuts in. If you go to the very first shot, you can see that there's really only like two B1s really there. And then he cuts in, or he adds in a couple of them. One is definitely added in post, or it looks like it is. And then he adds that background in on the green screen. I mean, it just, like, it's a really eye-catching shot because it's like the environment that he set it in, and then the way that he's got, like you mentioned, the figure itself posed. And then just the B1s around him. I mean, just excellent job.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Great composition all around.
Yes.
Kenobi 2 or Kenobi blah blah. I know he even told us how to say it. I fucking forget it.
I know. I'd have to go back and look again. I think it was Kenobi1TO.
Yeah, Kenobi 1 2.
Because his name is
Kenobi 1 2.
Kenobi1TO. His name is Toby.
Yeah.
So
Kenobi 1 2. There you go.
At KENOB1TO.
His name blah blah blah. This next thing is just glorious.
Oh, this next one is beautiful. What we have here is an absolutely incredible digital painting. Is this? Yeah, this is a digital painting.
Oh,
I believe.
yeah.
Done by C Violette Art, and her name is Camille Violette. 40,000 followers on Instagram. But this shot of Darth Revan, or of just Revan, because he has his dark side lightsaber and his light side lightsaber, but he's kind of dressed in the more Darth Revan garb. But like the way that she was able to make this image is just beyond
so
me.
badass, dude. I mean, she again, it's like a motion blur, but in a digital painting. So I don't even know what the fuck that means, or what you'd call that, or if it's the same thing. Yeah. But it does, and she does it. It's kind of like her style.
Yeah, motion. So she has on her page.
She's from French. Are French people Camille girls or boys?
I believe girl.
Yeah,
but
sure. It sounds good. Either way, we're not trying to be dickheads, but
yeah. I mean, she dubs herself as a motion design student, so that's why a lot of her figures and a lot of her
everything
focuses and her
looks
art is in motion.
like it's active. It's motile, if you will, kind of like sperm.
Yeah, and and I mean she has a lot of different focuses as well. I mean, a lot on the Marvel and Star Wars front, but I mean, she is an absolutely fantastic.
I mean, the Revan, he looks like he just wants to come out and fucking headbutt me and then bring those two swords around and cut my head off.
Yeah, exactly. Like he looks like he's about to come at
me
you
in half,
and
like Darth Maul me.
Yeah, it's.
I love it.
The way that she was, the way that she's able to capture that motion and really, I don't know, like the level of detail that she has in this image of Revan is just mind-blowing in some spots. It's like, how the fuck did you even do that? Like in his face mask, like the way that she was able to recreate that mask,
it makes my head hurt.
Yeah,
it does not compute like that. I mean, this is like an air output right now.
Yeah, so beautiful. Just Camille Violette at CVIALET_art on Instagram. Beautiful work. Just scroll through her feed and just realize that you will never be as talented as this person. Period.
There's some shit talking from Nick. See, I told you.
I mean,
told you life's getting rough if Nick's starting to talk mad shit. He's like,
it's just like,
he's like, hey, all you motherfuckers eat a dick.
Yeah, it's like, don't even try anymore. Like, but I mean, we have seen some absolutely fantastic, like Frangle art. I mean, everybody in the top 5.
Of course they are.
Absolutely
it's good.
wonderful.
It's good to have a little hate in you, man. It's good for you. Let it out. Let the poison out.
Mind blowing. This next one too is again like Captain Ordo is.
It's my boy.
On
yeah,
top 5 before.
I've said this before. Sean is one of my personal favorite toy photographers at this point in the game.
Yeah,
it's because of shit like this, dude. And it only gets. I mean, he's someone again. Like a Papa, like an everything, like a Sir Dork. Every week, if not every release, it's like I got to start weighing things. Like,
yeah, which
I mean, how big of a homer do we want to look like for some of these guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
but CPT Ordo. I mean, this fucking shot, dude, where he's got Mando evaporating a trooper and the trooper's helmet drops. It's just like, my God, the pose, the cape, the effect of the disintegration. You got fucking Han back there chilling.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be a bounty, but
it's a bounty, not necessarily.
It's just such a dynamic looking static piece of art. Does that make sense? Right? It does not move, but it looks like it's moving. It looks like it's alive. You can feel the action.
You see the scene that this is playing out in. Like, you see him, like, Mando is literally, he's probably not even running. Like, he's just walking with the bounty next to him. A stormtrooper fucking comes to approach him and just disintegrates him.
Yeah, he has to, like, his cape's whipped up because he had to just reach behind him and grab his gat. And he's like, "Papla!" Yeah. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, what this dude is putting out with these indoor setups, the way he lights them, the way he stages and poses, I love it. I mean, the guy's on a fucking tear right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his stuff is just fucking killer fantastic. So at CPT_0RDO on Instagram, Can't say enough about this shot. I mean, it caught my eye immediately scrolling through the feed, just because, I mean, like you mentioned, the lighting, the post-processing effects, everything that he did to this to make it look the way it does just sings. Beautiful, beautiful shot.
Yep.
So that's the end of my top 5. So Matt, let's get into your top
Nick's
one.
top 5. All right, my lowly top one. But hey, top one is number one. All right, so I picked a shot from at ChezPix66, Chris, Checkers, something like that. But this shot, dude, it perfectly portrays why I consider at ChezPix66 to be the best natural light toy photographer on Instagram. That's right, I said it.
Oof.
The best natural light toy photographer on Instagram. Now, if he's using fucking lights and we can't see him, then I'm an asshole. But I'm pretty sure this dude always plans his sessions, always knows when to hit up golden hour. I think he's in Maine or something, but he's on a coast somewhere, and he's close to the beach. It's a beautiful, flat, desolate beach. So the guy essentially lives on Tatooine for toy photography. And this shot of the sail barge, which is a toy, this is all 3.75-inch scale stuff, Nick, flanked by the mini skiffs with this golden hour sun-kissed background. It's just like, my God. I mean, look at that shot.
It is... It's hard to believe that that's not an image from a movie. Like, it's just so well executed.
It's, if you think about it, it's no bullshit. It's literally the setup and the location. You didn't have to worry about lights, shit blowing up, fucking particles. It's just beauty.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, this guy, this is what he does. If you look at ChezPix66, he predominantly shoots outside in natural light.
Yeah.
And this is how I started. Now I'm all fucked up on, I got to light it this way, do this, that. Even when I go outside, I feel like I got to have fucking lights now. But look, you don't. I mean, look at some of these shots with the fucking sun in the background.
I know.
Yes.
If you scroll through the feed, I mean ChezPix feed.
Uses a little atmosphere aerosol. There's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, look at the golden hour action this dude puts out, and the triple skiff here, the one I'm talking about, it's just, it just, like I said, it perfectly illustrates why I am calling ChezPix66 the greatest natural light toy photographer on Instagram.
I can't argue with that, man. I mean, I love this shot, the sense of scale that he achieves for the actual sail barge too by flanking it with the two smaller skiffs. I mean, top
and that's a real toy too. That thing costs like they actually had to do essentially a Kickstarter Hasbro had to do. They had to get enough fans to essentially say, yes, we'll pay you, I think it's like $500 for this if you make it.
Wow.
And enough people are like, they're like, yeah, we'll do it. They signed up, committed to it. So that Jabba's barge, that is a real toy. It's 3 and 3.75 inch scale, so it's not as big as you may think, but it's fucking big.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it looks fucking sick and well worth.
Totally.
The Matt top one here.
Another good segment in the top 5 there, my friend. Good choices. I'm gonna thank myself for featuring them, and I'll thank you all for tagging and using. You can tell we're approaching the 2.5 hour mark. The brain is starting to fucking shut down. Star Wars Time Show. I'm your host. This is Matt. No, anyways, you know what to do on Instagram. Tag. You want to get in on this fun? Join in. Hashtag Star Wars Time Show at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram. That's how you can get your ass on the Star Wars Time Show during the top 5 or 6 or Matt's Dumbass Shots fan artist features of the week. Sound good? All right. Now it's time to really do the dance, and that is called the Star Wars Time Show Hustle. Do it. It's time to twist again. All right, anyways. StarWarsTime.net, we thrive on fans, support, listeners, downloads, ratings, likes, comments, reviews. The only way you can do that is by going to StarWarsTime.net. That is the best resource for new and old fans, and soon-to-be fans, future fans, past fans. StarWarsTime.net. That's where you can get all the information you need to be linked in with the Star Wars Time Show at all times. You can get the articles we put out there, the videos I make that no one watches. You can find the subscribe links to all of the podcast platforms we are on, which include iTunes, Android, Spotify, TuneIn, you name it, we're there. Get subscribed. Once you're subbed up, now you just got to leave a rating and tell us how big of jerk-offs we are. But say it in a nice way or a bad way. It doesn't matter. The more ratings, the more people think we are awesome and listen to. And that's all we ask for. No hands are out quite yet. We do not have the sign asking for donations. But we might if you don't keep spreading the show. Don't spread COVID-19, spread Star Wars Time Show. There is always time for Star Wars time. There is not always time for COVID-19. Okay? And remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you always.